The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Yeah,
So are
Trey
you more
really
of
loves his
a-
cars.
Oh my lord.
Are you more of a sweet or salty kind of popcorn guy?
Salty, obviously.
Salty.
Uh,
Can't eat
definitely.
popcorn.
I'm also a salty popcorn type.
You don't eat popcorn?
I can't.
Wait.
I can't because of my stomach situation.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, okay. But they can handle
Really?
that
The
stuff
real
in sandwich
question is
order that
chewy
you
or
have.
crunchy bacon?
Crunchy.
Crunchy.
Man.
No, you know what?
Are you kidding me?
Hotel
I could.
hotel
I guess.
breakfast. Hotel breakfast bacon is always
Yeah.
the best.
I guess
Where
I
it's-
prefer sausage over that though, because
I
it's
mean,
just
it's-
like better for a
Ayo.
sandwich.
Nah, for me, it's got to be chewy. Fuck crunchy. What do I want to
Nah.
eat? Dust?
Oh,
Nah,
No,
I
that's
could
fair.
go
I
for
see
either.
that. I'll
It's
eat
not-
both. You know,
I
like,
gotta
I'll have
agree
both.
with
I just
Ian,
don't
I'm
like to be
afraid.
too chewy.
I'll eat either, but like
no.
I'd rather have it more undercooked than overcooked, you know?
It
That's fine.
depends.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
I-
sometimes I
I
like
don't
it when
want
it
it overcooked.
shatters and you bite it like.
It
like
can
it's-
have
it
like
feels right.
bits where it's like a little crunchier. It's fine.
Yeah, you
But
know how
again,
it is.
if it's on a
Good
sandwich,
God.
then I don't even bother with bacon because bacon doesn't cover enough of the sandwich.
Okay.
You know,
and then
like you
You
have to
just
put like
add
4 or
more.
5
Well,
pieces.
you gotta
Right.
stack it, you know?
No,
and
I know,
then,
but
That's
restaurants
fair.
won't do that for you. They'll give you like 2 pieces and then be like,
Cowards.
"All right, enjoy, shithead."
Oh yeah, I saw this post. In the UK, we've obviously got the Greg's Bakery chain, and I saw this post from someone saying the new girl at Greg's clearly doesn't know the bacon quota because she puts so much bacon in his breakfast bun.
That's nice.
That would-
like I went to
that
Dunkin'
would be my-
Donuts and they put these 2 tiny pieces on the sandwich, and it's like 90% of the time you're just biting into egg and croissant.
If a girl gave me
It's
too
like-
much bacon,
more
though, I
bacon.
would assume that she wants some of that Channel Pup lipstick. If you
propose
get
Wants
what
some
I'm
of
saying.
your bacon.
Who wants the
No,
Amy
that-
skin?
No. You know what? I'm in my car
I don't
right
even
now.
get
I
it.
could just like tilt my. I could tilt my steering wheel like 40 degrees and like I'll just be out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how. That's how it would happen.
All right, you go ahead and do that, and same time next week.
I mean, there
Same
wasn't really
sunset
anything to talk
time,
about, so.
Same sunset channel. Okay. Who wants to introduce today? We haven't even discussed that. Who's introducing? Frank.
Oh,
It's
that's a
been a
good
while
question.
since you've done it.
God damn it.
Come on, man. I want to hear you.
No.
Please.
Okay, fine. Welcome to Sunsets. I don't know the intro. I've never. I need to start
Oh, are
writing,
we
writing
live?
down the intro.
Yeah, we're live. It's okay, dude. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just
You know, I haven't done it in a while. Do you want me to do it?
don't
Go for
let
it.
him off the hook. He has to do it. He will learn.
Go for
I
it.
literally haven't done it in a long time.
I
feel
don't.
like.
I don't want to hear you do it, Dylan. I want to hear Frank do it today.
I kind of do.
Oh,
Tell you what,
like, I
I'll
want
tell you what.
Thanks, Frank.
do it.
All right. Okay. Fine. Both of you do
wanna
it at the same
time?
time. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There. Both of you do it at the same
Oh
time.
no, this is gonna be
All right,
awful.
ready, Frank? Follow my lead, okay? If you start talking and following my lead, I will try and make pace and try and like sync with you.
Beautiful. I can't
Alright,
wait for
ready?
this.
Okay.
Ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. I'm Garrulous64, apparently doing this alone, even though
Yeah,
we just
Frank,
said we were going to do it
Frank,
as a team.
what the fuck? What the fuck, dude?
No, that was pretty suave. I liked that. That was good.
I was waiting for him to stop in the middle. That was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
That was
no,
not
honestly,
cool,
that was a
man.
good way to just let me
No,
do it.
Y'all are gonna do it at the same time. I thought.
Yeah, like that.
Like, I
It's
thought that was.
Yeah, so
I couldn't
today,
keep up with
as
the pace.
always,
Dylan is
I'm
just too good at this.
Garrulous64,
He's too skilled.
and today we have Channel Pup.
you could have at least offered backing vocals, Frank, or something. Like just the occasional word, just kind of,
We have
Not into that.
Gotta
Just
Be Frank.
harmonize with. Yeah.
Amir, hi.
We've got Trey
something New
Nobles
Frontiers.
driving in his car, but safely using hands-off
I
audio.
am.
And
Oh,
we
I'm
also have
still
Ian
holding my
Waffles.
phone, eating cereal. Like,
Hey, thanks for having me
Yeah.
again.
Of course, we love having you here, dude.
Also,
Well, I appreciate it.
go on, Trey.
Apparently,
Also
I
up.
can't be heard.
and everyone, we also have Channel Pup here. Hello,
Oh, it's okay.
Channel Pup.
I was introduced at the start. But thank you.
He's first.
Oh, you were? Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
If
I was
I
like,
turn off,
for a
it's
second,
not
you almost
driving.
got me. I was like,
here's
did
the
I
thing.
forget Puff? I don't think I did.
Well, I thought
Right.
I thought Trey
Just
just
like you.
I thought Trey just missed the entire intro, and he was like, "Oh, are we starting?"
All right.
Hey,
I know
I
we're all
think I-
very excited. Everybody
Very-
settle down because we got a big episode today, okay?
All right.
But, Dylan, do you want to just do the housekeeping then, before we set off
Yes.
into the sun?
Yeah, so as per the usual, I'm sure you guys know, if you guys super chat, it is super appreciated. Haha.
Nice.
But we will be reading those at the end of the stream to try and not disrupt the flow of the whole conversation we'll be having. We do appreciate it, so thank you very much. And also, we have a Patreon, and we have perks that sometimes we care about and sometimes we don't. I'm still trying to figure it out. It does let you get in the Discord, though, I think. So
Yeah,
that's
it
one
lets
of
you
them
in the
that
Discord.
works. That's like the main one, I would say.
All right, that was good.
Right?
Yeah.
Good job, Dylan.
Thanks, brother.
Frank, next week, that is on you,
I'm
buddy.
fired. I know.
No, you're not fired. It's on you.
Yep, you're not
Um,
fired, Frank. I won't let him fire you.
I
They're
would
gonna yell
never.
at me in the post podcast.
We're not getting
No,
paid,
no,
Frank.
no.
We can't get fired.
I can get fired.
I told you not to tell people
Watch
that
me,
it's
I'm
a
gonna tweet
PR
something.
nightmare.
Okay,
But,
hey, honestly, most podcasts, I think basically every collaboration, every podcast, anything I've been on, never been paid for any of that. Sunset City is the only time I've ever been paid for being on like a project like this, and I think that's pretty cool.
it just only seems fair, and I'm sorry that I haven't really been able to get payments out
No,
on
I'm
time.
just joking around.
But I'm going to get it.
We've been
sorted.
over this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Been
why
over
are
this,
we?
it's
He's
fine.
hoarding-
discussing
hoarding our
financial
wealth from us?
situations?
Yeah, you're right. Welcome to Sunset City, the financial podcast for the I'm fucking poor and on the edge
Oh,
of
no.
considering horrible decisions age.
Hey, I'm Garrulous64, your host. I'm extremely poor.
And I overslept for a job
I'm
interview
trained
today, and I feel awful
I'm,
about it.
I'm
Yeah,
trained
yeah,
Obles. I'm a
that's-
musician, which means I am always poor.
Hey, I'm poor. I'm also poor.
And we're in debt.
And we're in debt.
Okay, that's the one
Debt
thing.
trap.
I'm not in debt, but I am poor.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, same here, same here, same here.
Yeah, I got
the-
triple digits in my bank account. It starts with a minus, but you know we got triple digits.
Dodging the debt bullet will always be, the biggest thing I can be grateful to my parents for.
I'm
So-
grinning
Exactly,
ear
that's
to
like the
ear,
one thing.
knowing that you're
That's the
not
one
in
thing.
debt. Knowing
It's
you're
like,
not in
I got
debt is
college,
just as
but
much
the
fun.
college I went to was like it was not as expensive as normal colleges, so my parents were like, "Yeah, we can just handle that," because it wasn't like, like $800,000 a year or whatever. Like if you go to Harvard.
Yeah,
I just
I
wanna
was
say-
Yeah, go ahead.
Great job incentivizing super chats today, guys. Good job.
Go into debt for Sunset City.
There's one more thing I want
That's our
to
new-
quickly do
You
as
can
part,
speed
of
run
the,
it.
as part of the opening of the show. Fish
Yeah,
tank.
yep.
Everybody, Twitch chat. Can we get some love for the Twitch chat?
How you doing, Twitch chat? How you doing, Twitch
Two
chat?
people in there.
Hope you're doing well.
You guys okay?
Um, they're-
Bet you know we love you.
They're spreading.
They're spreading their seed and reproducing. But okay.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
know we just said we're not gonna read super chats until the end, but Dragon Fruit just got me excited for something. I did not know there was an Epic Mickey demo out. That's pretty cool.
Oh shit! I gotta play that.
Like to see how that's doing. Thank you for letting me know about that. I appreciate that.
So, okay. This was obviously, a bit of a mystery episode because we haven't really had any major news lately. So I kind of wanted to ask everybody, how are we feeling? I figured today's episode could be about our feelings, and yeah. So
Feeling poor.
Very conflicted.
Oh yeah, Frank's
Okay.
actually got a real aggression thing. I definitely. Also,
Completely
Trey just
justified,
left the
by the
call,
way.
and that makes me very nervous that he just randomly disconnected.
Hope he
yeah,
just
when
got
knowing that he's
McDonald's.
driving and then just disappears like that, like
No.
I mean, like most likely that's just a dead zone that he just drove through. But that, I don't like that. That's
not the dead
good.
zone you're thinking of. We mean he went
Not
under
Dragon
a
Ball
tunnel
Z
or
dead
something.
zone. Yeah,
He
like a
went through a
wireless
tunnel.
dead zone.
Eels. That's all I think of.
eels.
Fucking escalators and eels.
Escalators.
No clue.
Eels.
Epic Mickey 2 was on Steam. Why the fuck did they do that? Why did they bother?
So since this is a bit of a venting session, for those who don't know, I'm a fan of a series, the Mana series, Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana, Final Fantasy Adventure, games like that, and a brand new game came out yesterday. But later that day, a story came out that reported that the majority of the studio who developed it had been laid off.
They don't even
It's
like
happening more and more these days.
they don't
Dumb
even like
shit.
wait and see if the game's successful or not. They're just like, as soon as they're out, like
Okay, Trey has returned.
the return
I
of
am
Trey.
so sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm
No,
just
it's
glad
good.
to know you're alive, frankly.
My
It-
phone just completely just shit the bed, and I'm just like, no, I really don't need this to happen right now. I was in the middle of again like reading billboards, reading bumper stickers, eating cereal, and I can't have my phone go down while I'm driving too.
Disconnect, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
no, you're right.
Yeah, no.
How else are you gonna check the time,
Yeah, how else am I gonna check the time and also, text people?
Use your calculator as well, right? Like, yeah, you lose
Yeah,
your phone, you lose your
yeah,
calculator.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to eat my
Oh,
crunchy
come on.
bacon. And
You're
it's
not
getting
always
all
going to
over
have a calculator in your pocket.
me. No, that'd be stupid.
My
Dude,
math
my
teacher told
teachers
me
are
that.
rolling in their fucking graves. My third grade teacher, there's no way she would have believed this.
Oh, by the way, Frank, could you just
Well,
quickly check your DMs? Sorry, dude. Okay, I guess we shouldn't keep them waiting any longer for the main meat, because this subject alone, just the
Why, what
subject
happened?
alone has been super long awaited. Like, people have been going nuts waiting for this thing that we are talking about today. What could it possibly be? Yeah, that's right. We're talking all about the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie trailer. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I did do the calculations. This trailer has not released any later into the production cycle than the Sonic 2 trailer did. The movie released in
Dude, are
very
you
late
saying that
March.
Sonic fans overreacted to something? That's crazy.
Yeah,
they've
no,
never
right.
That
done
never
that.
happens.
They've never done that before. Come on.
The marketing of this
Well,
film
that's
sucks, dude.
Like
Yeah,
that's the thing that kind
it's
of
the
like,
company that's bad at marketing.
yeah, like that's the part that kind of made me like.
Well, I
seeing,
think,
like people online, what is it? Like seeing people online being like, "Oh, there's no marketing." I'm like losing interest in the movie. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
that's gonna
no.
go away
Have some-
automatically.
Yeah, just get out of here. Like, when I saw, I saw people saying that, it's like, no, you're not, though, are you? The trailer's
You're
gonna
go see the
drop.
movie. Like,
The trailer's gonna drop, you're gonna reject any criticism that comes its way, and you're gonna be first in line to see the movie. And you know what? I will too. I will also be first in line to see the movie. But, I don't even...
It's
Sorry,
so
go on.
funny. It's like, oh, sorry. Sorry, you want to go?
No, I don't really have anything more to say on that bit, so by all means.
Okay. Yeah, no, on the topic of like, oh, I'm not even interested anymore because they haven't dropped the trailer. It's, like, I feel like I just didn't really give a shit from the beginning because I knew that when the trailer dropped, it was gonna be, well, hopefully cool. Like, I was expecting it to be cool,
Right.
and it's like, I got other things to do, and I just don't give a shit when it drops. Like, it's going to drop. You know, like, it will happen.
And it's gonna be
And I think
pandemonium!
the reception to before it showed up was just like, it's just insane. It's just crazy, like, what people were
I mean,
talking
you know...
about and doing.
I think the only person who I thought had like a pretty reasonable like reason to talk about it was Speed Supersonic, where he would make videos talking about how like since it's sharing the release date with Lion King, he would want it to be promoted more so that like if they're going to fight for that slot, that Sonic would have just as much of a chance of like being in the public consciousness as this Lion King movie that's coming out at the same time. And I think that one got a trailer like a month or so ago. So I remember like him talking about it from that perspective, but everyone else like, and that made sense to me just as someone, you know, if he's coming at it from this kind of like, oh, like maybe, you know, that could cause a problem for Sonic. I think it would be cool if they had a trailer. But for everyone else who was just like, I'm going to lose interest in Sonic 3, it's just like, this is a problem that literally only exists in the here and now. As soon as it appears, this will never be a problem ever again for anyone in the history of ever. It's fine.
And sometimes the wait can be a gamble, sometimes it can pay off. I believe the Sonic 3 trailers views have now surpassed the Mufasa trailer.
Hey, well, there you go.
We'll try not to
gonna
talk
say
too much
this.
about Mufasa. We don't want another
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
But
Actually, I
Don't
have
care
to.
about-
I have to say something. I just have to. Last week, we had a large conversation about Lion King versus the Sonic movie trailer, or just Sonic movie in general. I was very adamant that I thought people, like normal people, would be much more invested in the Lion King. And I'm gonna be honest, the amount of, like, I know that I'm on Sonic Twitter for all intents and purposes, but the amount of hype I've seen for this Sonic trailer, it almost makes me feel like the Lion King is gonna be just fucking trounced.
Like
It
dwarf.
almost makes me feel like
it's
they're
also
not
a
going to give a
thing.
shit. Like, I'm
Yeah.
taking it back, I think. I
I
was
did-
wrong.
Well, there you go. And that was our most intense conversation ever on this show.
And now it's retcon.
Well,
I just
but
was not prepared for how
but
big-
I did see a tweet that I do think gives credence to your previous point in that, I mean, it's worth noting the internet and the real world that are going to see these movies can be kind of two different things. So I'm still expecting The Lion King will beat Sonic, but I don't think Sonic will just not stand a chance. I did see a tweet that, I can't remember who made this, I really want to credit them, but it said, I really feel bad for the kids that are going to lose the family vote for the cinema, where it's like, I want to see Sonic and the rest
Yeah.
of the family
Oh, God,
want to
yeah.
see The Lion King.
Oh yeah.
Lion, see, like,
That's gonna suck, yeah. Because some people don't get to go see, like, every movie they want. You know, some people get to see, like, hey, we're going to see one movie this month, and that's it, you know? So,
Yeah,
if even.
like, especially for like families who aren't like financially well off, like back in the day, like that's how it was. We
Yeah.
kind of had to pick and choose our movie for like the year almost. It was like
Yeah.
a big event.
This
But
was the original
to
benefit
give, I guess, a
of,
little bit of a. Oh, I'm sorry.
this was the original benefit of streaming services, but now there's like a couple dozen streaming services already, you know.
Yeah. Well, like, what I was gonna say is that, like, in the case for, I guess, the new like Sonic movie or whatever, I haven't heard in the real world. I haven't heard anyone talk about Mufasa. Like, my family hasn't talked about it. None of my like IRL friends have been talking about it. And I'm not saying that it's not in the public consciousness. I'm just saying that usually, you know, at least growing up, Disney movies were like a big deal, especially something as iconic as like Lion King. But like now it's like everyone has kind of like not paid it that much mind and everything.
Well, I
I do
mean,
want
it's-
to see it. I want to see both, but I think it is a thing now where it like Disney movies are starting to lose their luster at least a little bit, just in
Oh,
general,
definitely.
just because like
I
Yeah,
think they
so,
did.
like-
It's saturation.
I think
and
they did
plus
when
it's-
they started
I
doing
also-
the live
I
action
also-
remakes.
also it's a thing too where it's like it's weird pitting these two movies against each other because they're so different. Like, they're family movies, I guess, but in terms of like content and overall tone and feel or whatever, it's just two completely different experiences. It's like comparing shrimp to cookies, you know.
No, well, first
It's
off,
like-
how dare you not like cookies? Second off, that's such an online thing only. Like, only people
Yeah.
who are terminally online are really going to be like, oh, this Mufasa more like mid-Fasa. Am I right? And it's like,
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
there's 2 points
Honestly,
I kind of
so
want to
real.
bring up here.
Honestly,
Is
so real.
2 points I kind of want to bring up here is that ultimately, when it comes to the disdain for Disney remakes, the reason they keep making them is because generally the general audiences will eat them up. They don't care that the lines don't emote the same. There are people out there who, as far as they're concerned, it's live action now, so it's the definitive version. The other thing I was going to say is hype works in mysterious ways, because I don't know a single person who has ever seen Avatar 2. I don't know anyone who's seen Avatar 2, yet it's one of the most
I am
successful
not-
movies
Right.
ever made. I don't know anyone who's seen Inside Out 2, but it is the most successful animated film of all time now. Also, the reason why today's episode was delayed was because I was at the cinema watching a re-release of Batman Mask of the Phantasm, so I had a great time.
oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah, no, that
Ooh.
was awesome. What a film, by the way. But I do want to kind of discuss
Yeah.
the role a trailer actually plays in publicity. The thing that these mega fans should probably acknowledge at the very least, and I'm going to say this right now, I will acknowledge some validity in the frustration with a lack of trailer, because we were itching to see it, and it's like, we had that title treatment reveal, we had some of the casting reveals and stuff, and it felt like, okay, are we warming up? And then it was like a few months of radio silence. This is normal, but it can feel a little frustrating, so I'm not going to say that Sonic fans are invalid for feeling a little frustrated out. But the role a trailer plays ultimately isn't for you. The trailer is not there for you, fans. The trailer is there to get people
Right.
to be interested in seeing the movie, and the truth be told, if you're a Sonic fan, you're already going to see the movie. Like that's what it's for. It's why,
you're already getting very sold.
It's-
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
why
it's
when you
too
get
late
like
for you.
these
You have to.
these final trailers, for example, they usually give more of the plot away because it is the last ditch effort at getting people on board to see the movies. And usually when you get a final trailer for something as well, it will usually target things a little differently. I remember very vividly with like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Most of the trailers for that movie featured a lot of the action, but then the final trailer was more about like Harry and Peter and stuff because it's trying to target a different side of the audience. So really, like, they're not going to release a trailer just because we ask for it. They're going to release the trailer when they're ready for it. And also, the more we talk about it, the more free publicity we are generating. So ultimately, like, it's here now, but it wasn't for backlash or anything like that. It's here because it's meant to be here now. This is where we're at in that production cycle.
Well, and so the big thing I want to say about the
Right.
trailer, in terms of like the marketings and stuff, is that the thing that I underestimated completely, is that I did not realize just how fucking cool Shadow was actually going to look. Because he kind of looks like literally perfect, and he looks cool in a way that I think like normal people will think he looks cool. So like I was like when he comes out of the fire and you see him standing over there, I'm like, that's one of the coolest looking Shadow things I've ever seen. So I think like that's really gonna appeal to people.
Yeah, they did a great job of that.
I also like another shot I loved was the skating on the water
Yes,
scene
yeah.
where he looks like a python. Like, you know, like how like snakes move
He's-
around where
Yeah,
their
the head
is
stays
stationary,
in
but their
place, but the body
runs
is
around them.
moving, yeah.
And like, it's so sick. It looked so cool, and I was like, man, these guys are going all out. And it makes sense because Jeff Fowler worked on Chao the Hedgehog the game. You know, that was his first like I guess like VFX like job, I guess. And so it's like kind of his like baby in a sense, you know, like he cares about it. So it's like I had no doubt that he was going to be portrayed pretty well on the screen. My biggest concern, and which is not even really a concern, sorry, I had to run over some children, but it's not really a big concern. It's more so just
It's
it's
okay,
more
they see
so
it fail
just
anyways.
how they're going to tackle it's more so these things. And I knew it was going to be like a loose interpretation of like what we know, I guess, like as fans.
No,
and
can you just
whatnot.
repeat
But
the
it
last
seems like
part?
they're going
because-
in a different direction overall.
Can you
Oh, that I
just
ran
kinda
over
repeat-
children. I'm sorry.
There was kind of like the beginning of it where you kind of made the point and you're like, and I knew it was going to be that. Like,
Oh, my bad. Did I cut off? Is that what happened?
yeah. So if
Yeah,
you
a
could just
little bit.
repeat the beginning of it,
Okay, yeah. Well, I was well, more so I was just saying I'm more so concerned about how they're going to tackle, I guess, like what we would expect being introduced. You know, it seems like they are covering a lot in this movie, so it is going to be interesting to see like how they, I guess, like tie all of the pieces together. You know, that's pretty much
Yeah.
all I was trying to say.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, what they're gonna take
And,
from
and,
SA2.
and I ran over some children. It's fine.
Great.
It's okay.
But yeah,
we have a new generation of Sonic fans that's going to be introduced to Maria getting capped. So
It does look like they're actually gonna cap
Hey.
that kid, and that's insane to me.
yes, they are.
At
I
this,
kept-
at this
the
point, though,
thing-
I
the
feel
thing
like
I
it's
kept
not going
telling
to be on
everybody-
screen.
I mean, it's
No,
never
gonna
on
happen on
screen,
screen,
it's
but-
fine.
They're gonna lose to it.
Like,
It
they're
won't
gonna
happen
find
on-
her body. That's
They're
the thing where
gonna-
they find her body. That's gonna be when they discover that she died, and they're gonna be like, "They took everything from us that day," you know, like, and they're gonna talk over that scene all sad.
And to be
stuff.
fair, though, like that is how it happened in
And
SA2.
the theater's gonna cheer.
Even in Shadow the
Yeah,
Hedgehog,
no,
it
that's
didn't happen
exactly-
on screen. You see the gun get pointed,
Yeah.
you see her gasp, and then fade to white. They never showed her head getting turned into a fucking meatball, and they're not gonna
Yeah,
do
no,
that
that's
here.
not what I expect. That's
Yeah.
no, it's not going to be graphic or anything. It's just going to be implied. But you're going to hear people in the theater cheering, and
They're
all
gonna
the
cheer,
parents
yeah.
like, "What the?"
Grandma's gonna be
What
so
is
confused.
happening? Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's
That
gonna
is going to be
amazing
very.
time. Now I will
I'm
say this.
cheering. That man killed her.
when I first saw the trailer, my initial assessment was that this is not Sonic Adventure 2, the movie, because, I mean, like, there's a few little changes that we're seeing here and there. One of which being that the government have come to Sonic for help this time, rather than mistaking him for Shadow and arresting him, which makes a lot of sense, given that Gunn were the folks that discovered Shadow in the Black Site at the end of Sonic 2. It would be weird for them to be like, hey, we discovered this ultimate... Wait, where'd he go? Hang on a minute, Sonic's robbing a bank! Like, that would be so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it was even, like... Dylan, you've pointed out that it was kind of dumb in SA2. I have jokingly rationalized it a little bit, but... yeah, they have taken that angle of things and kind of made it a bit more... sensible, I guess.
I think it's just fine to streamline it just for the sake of having Tails and Knuckles immediately in the fray, you know.
The one sad thing is we probably won't get the visual of Sonic skating down a city street. I mean, we know it's not taking place in San Francisco this time as well. Like, the bulk of the movie seems to be taking place in Tokyo, as in Japan, the title is Sonic X Shadow Tokyo Mission, which is also like a
that's cool.
awesome title.
So Sonic and Shadow are working together in Tokyo, and they've shipped them.
Well, that's the weird thing because Sonic 2 was called Sonic v Knuckles in Japan. So why go from V to X? What's happening here?
Because they're shipping them.
He's gonna kiss his butthole.
They're gonna kiss in Japan.
Okay.
They're gonna have my favorite. No, they're gonna have my favorite scene from SA2 where Sonic kisses Shadow's butthole.
Can you
I
not
don't
say
remember that
butthole?
part. Was that like maybe in the second version of the game? I didn't.
Is that in the manual where they explain that Maria has
I think it might have been a Sonic Adventure 2 Dreamcast thing that maybe, you know, the normies that have played Battle probably haven't seen. So
it was like DLC or something, you know, like Dreamcast has DLC. By the way, you know, it's really cool.
It's during
it does.
It's during the bit where he's like, "What you see is what you get." Just a guy who loves adventure, and then Sonic just gives it a little smooch on his chocolate starfish, you know.
I fucking hate this, but it's so funny that the fact that you said DLC, Frank. Could you imagine people buying that? Like, they fully know what it is, and they buy that as DLC.
Sonic Adventure 2 on Dreamcast. Deleted scene DLC.
Some people are curious, and other people want it for preservation.
Pay a little extra to see Sonic kiss Shadow's butthole. That's what, you know, like Sonic Advance 3's title screen, you see Tails' butt pixel. Like, they could make that a DLC for a re-release. Restore the butt pixel.
Hey, in this day and age where, you know, a lot of things are becoming lost media, we gotta preserve as much as we can.
Yeah, they'll never re-release Sonic Advance 3.
Wait,
No, that's fine. I don't care about the Sonic Advance trilogy. They could all burn in hell.
What? I like the Sonic Advance trilogy. I think it's fun.
It's pretty mid.
Personally
I
speaking.
like the Sonic Advance trilogy. I don't love the Sonic Advance trilogy.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
up
it.
on that one. I'm sort of in the middle.
But
Because
I
one
was
has a
gonna
lot of
make a- I was
problems,
gonna
and
make
three
a
has a
joke
lot of
of-
problems, and 2 is just kind of perfect for most
They are
of it.
very dimps, I find. Like, there's a lot of bottomless pit level design there, which I don't like.
Yeah, it's a very
I
dense
was gonna
game.
say, like, I was gonna make a joke where it's like, what if that DLC actually existed, and then 20 years later you had people debating online about the characterization of these characters? Like, no, like Shadow would do, like Sonic would kiss his butthole, and then people are like, no, he wouldn't. And it's like it's in his character.
That's not
and you
who
have,
he
like,
is. He wouldn't do that.
like,
This has gone
he wouldn't
so
do
much
that.
further than I'd ever expected the fucking butthole DLC conversation to go.
Well, like, I mean,
Actually,
you give
modding
us an
community.
interesting
Can we have that as a mod?
No,
wait. Hear me out.
no.
Hear me out. I
No.
want two things. I want that cutscene, and then I want the Sonic and Shadow models to have little pink buttholes on them. If we could get that, that would be hilarious.
Really hate that.
I love that
Really
this
couldn't
episode
hate
in
it a lot.
particular feels no different from a no news week, as if like we don't have an entire trailer to
No,
discuss.
Ian, right? So when we did the Sonic 2 trailer reaction years ago with the old gang, there was Nick trying his damnedest to steer the episode in a direction of being a reaction to the Sonic 2 trailer, while Gilly and I were just screaming with laughter over the idea of Maria Robotnik getting shot in the face in a third movie.
And you've been vindicated.
We derailed the entire thing. The actual segment of talking about the Sonic 2 trailer lasted 10 minutes. The remaining hour and a half of the episode was just shenanigans. Like, this happens every
Awesome.
time.
Their trailers are not very long, so like 10 minutes for discussing it makes sense to me.
Well, I got
I
a
love it.
27-minute
It's got to be a
reaction.
1 hour breakdown of every single frame.
I do want to say I do think it's very funny that like you'll watch reactions and people will be like, oh my gosh, he did the kick from the Shadow the Hedgehog intro, and then you look at the Shadow the Hedgehog intro, it's like, yeah, and that kick is just like a roundhouse kick. It's just a kick.
Well,
not like
that
it's
was
not
an
like the
interesting-
shit.
I want to do some kicking.
Like it's, I mean, it
Shadow
is
kick.
obviously a reference to that kick. It's just funny that it's like, oh, it's the Shadow kick. It's like, yeah, it's Shadow just doing a kick.
No, but that was an
No,
interesting
no,
discussion
it's
I had
the shadow
yesterday.
kick.
Yesterday on my Sonic Heroes live stream. A discussion I had with Tom Topics about the Akira slide, and I asked, when is a reference no longer a reference? Because the thing is, like, it's a motorcycle slide, okay, but this has been done in so many bits of media. When does it stop being a reference and become a trope? Like the Wilhelm scream, for example, is something he brought up. Like, how many of you actually know where the Wilhelm scream originates?
It's from John Wilhelm when he got killed.
I knew at one point, but
From a movie, though,
it's
right?
been a long time.
Well, it's from
Not me.
another movie, and
Killed.
we
Oh,
don't
no.
we don't say that that's a reference, Like, that was the thing, is I had someone comment, like, how could you not talk about the Akira slides? I don't know what Akira is, truth be told. I just thought,
I mean, I know the
You
Akira
don't
slide.
know
I've
Oh,
not
that
seen
movie?
Akira.
I haven't seen Akira.
Yeah, I think it becomes a trope
Neither
when
have I.
the
I'm sorry,
original.
Frank.
God, I think it
Frank
becomes a
didn't like
trope when the original thing isn't in the public consciousness anymore. If that makes sense, it's
Yeah,
like
when it's kind of buried
still
by
know
the
the-
reference in a way.
what Akira is.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that
yeah,
makes sense to me.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like the reference becomes like, it becomes bigger than its originator. Pretty much.
I think enough
It's like-
people mentioned that it's an
is.
Akira slide for it to still not be death of the author at the very least. But yeah, okay, so Shadow has a motorcycle is something worth talking about. It doesn't appear to be the Dark Rider, and I think
Wait,
it might even be Agent Stone's motorcycle.
Wait, hold on. The whole like, oh, the Akira slide, is that a trope? Does that make Green Hill Zone a trope?
Yeah. Yeah, it's no longer a Sonic 1
we
reference, it's
remember.
a trope now.
No,
Chemical
because it's
Plant?
not in other pieces of media. No, it's not in other pieces of media. Green
I
Hill
mean, I don't
Zone
know, like, the
is still-
Windows XP
I mean-
background feels kind of like a reference to Green Hill, doesn't it, when you think about it?
I mean,
There's
it's
no
in a-
checkerboard
it's
The
in a-
patterns.
backyard kind of feels like a
Furry,
reference
I
to
love
Green Hill
you.
when I think about
Here's
it.
the thing. So
Hmm.
Green Hill Zone comes from a video game, but it's also in a movie. It's also in a TV show or Netflix show, whatever. So it's appeared in other kinds of media.
The thing is,
Sure,
like,
well,
for-
same
I mean,
franchise,
it's all
but
part of the same.
different
theory.
Well,
media.
if we just okay, but Trey, let's be insular here. Let's just be insular for a second, and treat it within the Sonic franchise. In Sonic Generations, it was treated as a throwback to Sonic 1, but in every subsequent game it's returned in, is it really a throwback to Sonic 1 anymore, or is it a throwback to Sonic
Adventure
Forces
2.
or Sonic and the
Adventure 2.
Sonic and the Frontier?
Okay,
you
you
know,
are being like that.
Sonic
Sonic,
Adventure 2.
Sonic in the Frontier.
Sonic in the Frontier.
You are being.
Sonic
like,
Front Rear.
The thing is, if it still resides in its original, it's
No,
in its
sure, but the
original franchise,
context can change things, can't it? Like, I feel like it's a separate conversation, but there is another thing I wanted to mention, where Sonic 3's story, as the trailer has presented it, does improve upon Sonic Adventure 2 in a regard, and that is that the Space Colony Ark is not currently in space. At least, like, as far as the movie goes, it is
That's in
just
the ocean, right?
it's in the River Thames, which is something I live near.
Why don't they
In the
call it the
river,
River
yeah.
Thames Colony Ark?
Well, because it will go to space eventually. It probably was in space,
Yeah,
went home,
then
and
the
it will go back
biolizard's
up
gonna
into
attach
space.
it to its butthole.
But they only called it Space Colony Ark because it was in space, and if it's not in space, shouldn't
Yeah,
they
but
rename it?
it's not like Robotnik started off in space to make it, is it? Like,
You just call it the Colony Ark.
Well, maybe okay.
okay,
well,
when you
let's say
see
this,
when you see a spaceship, the space shuttle, it wasn't in space when it was created, was it? Like,
let me cook.
Well,
let me
it
cook.
was eventually.
yeah, but like the Space
Let-
Colony
let me
Ark is
cook.
eventually going to space.
It probably is a launching
Alright, you
pad.
win this round.
Probably is a launching pad. It's a launching pad that goes up to space eventually, but it
So,
doesn't reside there.
When does the biolizard put the space colony ark in its butthole?
I just love the idea of the giant lizard floating in space, grabs the Ark and just puts it up
I
his
knew you were
bum.
gonna say that, Frick.
I mean, it's literally attached to its butthole. In the
Can we stop with the
He's like,
Top of the
this
butthole.
goes in here.
I'm killing myself.
But okay, so
All right. See you next week.
can I please get back to the space colony arc for a second?
I mean,
so-
it's in the Bio-Lizard's butthole.
Just a minute. I'm gonna call the River Thames the Biolizard's butthole now. But it will go to space. It probably has been to space. I hope it's been to space before. But we do see it rise out of the Thames, presumably going into space. And there is a shot where Tails is jettisoning himself out of the Ark, and he appears to be holding his breath, so it's probably in space there. Which also raised the question, in the movies, can the Sonic characters breathe in space like they can in the games? But we do see kind of the outline of the Robotnik moustache on the Ark in that one shot where Tails is jumping out of it. So it's the Space Colony Ark, basically. It's little this time. I didn't think it was the Space Colony Ark when I first saw it, because it looks so dinky.
It's not that small. It's not that small.
It's everybody laugh
am-
at the little tiny Space Colony Ark.
It's how
not
you use
tiny.
it now.
It's average. Some say it might be too big.
Yeah, it's average. Yeah. Some people may say it's massive.
I don't know, man.
you know?
I feel like
Like,
it's just
I don't know
gonna.
what you're talking
If the Bio-Lizard puts that up his bum, it's just gonna slide back out again.
So,
All right, yeah, let's not talk about that. anymore.
moving on from this.
I gotta say the one thing I
Yeah,
wasn't
moving-
really a
moving
fan
on
of.
from this.
The one thing.
All right, who wants to hold the speaking panda?
Me. So one of the things that I'm really excited for, with regards to the movie, actually, is that, people really like SA2. They like its story. I think it's like a fun, it's a fun time. But what I think that the Sonic movie universe has a chance to do that'll make it that'll make it really resonate. Because with the first movie, obviously it's a little buddy cop adventure story. And then for the second one, it's kind of like a mix of a nice little Sonic fan service movie, but also it's kind of about finding family and stuff. But and those are very cute and fun. But what I think the third movie has a really good chance to do with the Shadow story, since it's adapting it into its universe, is the idea. I like that they just kind of directly say Sonic, Shadow is a mirror to you, to where you came into the world, you didn't have any family, but you found it. Shadow had a family, and then it was taken from him. And so therefore, they're actually going to be able to contrast our protagonist and Shadow in a way that will actually probably really resonate with people if we're dealing with the idea of loss, and also maybe Shadow probably maybe trying to take Tom away from Sonic. There's just a lot of stuff that they can do with that I think will make this definitely the best movie out of the three, because the first one I just feel like it's kind of just a normal cute little adventure. Second one feels like good Sonic fan service. This one feels like it's actually going to coalesce into a strong story that it can tell about loss. And so I'm really excited about that. I think it'll really connect together. So
I think 2 did a good job of kind of tying Sonic and Knuckles' character parallels together. And kind of, how your lived experiences, how sometimes the families that you're born into can be opposed against each other, and you kind of form your own bonds from there.
It did, but once that's resolved, then it's fight Eggman, right? Whereas I feel like this one will actually be able to tie it all together throughout the entire film, because then once hopefully I would say Eggman probably takes over the Space Colony Ark and decides, okay, I'm going to betray everybody. Hopefully that will then be able to culminate in something like the Supersonic fight, where it is a culmination of the characters actually growing stronger together and being able to fight on equal terms. Whereas before they were, fighting together, Shadow will be able to save the people that Sonic loves, and then Sonic will be able to almost avenge the people that Shadow has lost. And that'll basically go through the whole movie and punctuate. Whereas it feels like with Sonic 2, you have the family thing with Sonic and Knuckles. Knuckles helps defeat Dr. Robotnik, but then he becomes Sonic, and then he learns to be a hero, and that's kind of separate from the Sonic dynamic. So this one just feels like it's going to be able to focus on one core theme, and I think that's going to make it really, really strong. So
there's one more thing I wanted to say on the subject of the Ark, by the way, is that it is a little more sensible that it is docked underneath the Thames than it just floating around in the Earth's atmosphere and no one noticed it before.
Well, that it was just always there.
I mean, to be honest, I would have been fine if it was just that in that universe there is just another moon about, and it's oh, that wasn't a moon after all, it was the Ark. But this
That's
is
cool.
Well, yeah,
this is more rational.
In SA2, it was covered up, and then it exploded half of it to reveal the face underneath.
It was covered up,
that's
but you'd
what
see
happened in
another
SA2.
moon up
They
there.
could have done that with
You'd see another moon up there.
Yeah, why not? It's just a little space rock. Who cares?
Oh yeah.
I don't hate the
I don't
idea.
mind it in SA2. That's just SA2 being whimsical and fun and over the top.
Well, SA2 is
just
silly fun. Like, the story's just very larger than life, and it's like, presumably Sonic, Tails, Knuckles are going to get onto the Ark while it's docked in the Thames, rather than have to go to Cairo and hitch a ride on a rocket, which, admittedly, way less awesome, but logistically makes way more sense.
Especially if they just want to keep the movie like focused into like Tokyo.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing I wanted to mention is the shift...
and all that stuff. Yeah, no, like I'm just very excited for this one. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to mention is kind of the locations this time, because it has been a point of slight frustration that we haven't had more Sonic locations in these movies. Like, you know, I was really happy to get as much time as we did with Labyrinth in Sonic 2. But other than that, it's been super sparing on environments. They've overused the fuck out of the mushroom planet at the very least. But with this one here, I think if any Sonic story adaptation gets a pass for taking place in realistic worlds, it is the Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation. And even though, like, the original story took place mostly in San Francisco, this one looks to take place mostly in Tokyo. That was an inspired choice. Obviously, they did San Francisco in Sonic 1, so it was a very inspired choice to have most of it take place in Tokyo, have Sonic and Shadow's first confrontation be in Tokyo, and it is probably the most visually stimulating location we've seen in any of these Sonic movies that hasn't been one from the games. Because
they're using like the billboards and the lights and the nighttime like vibes. Like, since it's gonna take place in reality, they chose a very, almost like otherworldly part of reality of like a city culture.
The thing is, like, with San Francisco, for example, I joked in my live stream yesterday where I said, like, congratulations, Sonic Movie 1 team, you found a way to make San Francisco look boring as fuck. Because in Sonic 1, San Francisco has no character. You don't see the hills, you don't see the colored houses or anything like that. You just see Sonic running through a city. You see that big shard-shaped building, and that's it. And that's disappointing. But, like, for this, we are actually making the most of Tokyo being as kind of colorful as it apparently is. I can't say I've been there, but, like, you know, you think about Tokyo, you think of the neon, the colored signage and stuff like that. And because of that, this first confrontation between Sonic and Shadow looks beautiful. You've got the light emitting from all those billboards and signs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's one thing I can say, is this movie is by far the best visually of the bunch in just this trailer alone. Like, it's gorgeous.
No, I was shocked with all the, like, just like, even because like it's really easy to like undervalue it, but like we see it so much where it's just like, oh, here's a room where, like, I don't know, like a monster's gonna be, or like we're just fighting in like a labyrinth or whatever. Actually, you could think of something like the first Avengers movie when Loki attacks and he's fighting all those guys. It's just like a base underground, right? But then like you go to this scene where it's like Shadow coming out of the tank, and like they use like the glass and they use like the lights of all like the guards, the guards and the red on Shadow. Like, it really feels like they're using light to like tell the story and make it feel like kind of otherworldly and cool. I was like, oh heck yeah, thumbs up there.
Oh yeah, the lighting in this one is so much better. But boys, what are we thinking though about like locations and lighting and stuff?
I think so far, I mean, the trailer goes by so fast, but I mean, we have Prison Island, we've got Tokyo, we've got San Francisco, we've got space, probably.
Chao.
Pretty cool. Yeah, we got the Chao Lounge, whatever that's going to be, the Olive...
It
Someone on
is
Twitter
cool.
made a really funny post about that. They said, like, since they're meeting the gun commander guy there, and it's going to be probably in Japan, it's probably going to be a joke, like, you know, they go to the Chao Garden because they couldn't find the Olive Garden.
That's really funny.
I think that's...
I don't know, I
kind of
like that. I kind of like...
They did, there is a shot where you can actually see the full name of it, and it is just called Chao Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with like the Chao... Oh, actually, sorry, Frank, you can go ahead.
Oh, just like, I didn't know if you had anything to add to
Okay. Well,
conversation.
yeah.
I didn't really have.
Nope.
Either Trey or Frank, one of you guys speak.
Go ahead. I really didn't have a whole lot. Like, I didn't really have much to
Okay.
say about like
Yeah.
the locations.
What now?
Right. So like I wanted to make this point. Like trailers are like they're usually subject to change in terms of the movie, like the contents within the movie. So I'm not going to really hold my breath in terms of like how everything like looks or how things play out. You know, in the trailer versus what's going to be in the theatrical release. Because even in like the Sonic 2 movie trailer, like the first interaction between Knuckles and Sonic ended up being different in the final cut. I actually like the trailer cut of that interaction more, but like regardless, I'm still kind of holding my breath in terms of like where things will go because it does look like there's going to be a lot of like variety, but things are just subject to change, as is like a lot of movies, pretty much. So
Yeah, just
Yeah,
in
no,
terms
you're
of
right.
like lighting though, like Sonic 1 and 2, I think those movies look fine, but in terms of lighting, it's very boring. It's fit for purpose lighting that just looks kind of naturalistic. This one, I'm really excited with how much they're doing with this. Even down to like London, for example, as well. How fucking miserable it looks. Especially in that shot where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are just standing there looking at something that's made them sad. It's like, yeah, they're in England, all right? Like,
They're looking at the sign that says "Welcome to England," and they're like, "Fuck."
Yeah. No, they're looking at
Air
me.
conditioning here.
I'm just like, I'm passing by, I'm like, hi,
Yeah.
and that's
I
how
will
they
say
look
about
at me.
I will say the Chao Garden. I know people have brought up like this is just kind of an extension of the movie universe, just kind of like stapling on like names of things. And it's like, oh, is this really any better? Where it's just like, oh, look, there's like guys in Chao suit. Like, who cares? But I will say they could make it valuable. All they'd have to do is actually like interact with the environment, have like take advantage of the fact that like they're having kind of like this nice little conversation, but then that's like this kind of sanctuary like the Chao Garden is. But then then it gets attacked by whatever's shooting at them or whatever. Like they could really take advantage of. Like I hope that they take advantage of the fact that they're in this Chao Garden setting with all these cool little animatronics and like people walking around. Like make it fun, make it engaging, make it like a location people are going to remember. Because I would be really annoyed if they just go there and it's just like, oh yeah, there's just Chao walking around, but like no one's going to acknowledge it outside of maybe like a goofy reference, and then we'll move on. It's like use the environment to tell a story,
Have them be enthralled with them, addicted to them even.
Yeah, Knuckles is gonna be like, "Thank you, small creature," and then he's gonna like take the drink from him, and it's gonna be like a vodka on the rocks. Looks good.
It would be cool if like the actual like I guess like restaurant that they're at were based on actual Chao creatures, if that makes sense. It's
They
like
just eat like
it's like
pigs
okay,
and
they had to
shit.
get this idea from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's
I
like
mean,
they had to get this idea somewhere. It's like so it's like where they get this idea from. Yeah.
I have
But anyways,
I have quite a lot to say about the Chao Garden myself. So if you'll indulge me, I'll kind of give my thoughts on it. Because when I first saw the Chao Garden, I kind of leapt. I was like, whoa! They're actually doing the Chao Garden. And they would have been stupid not to, because the Chao are going to be so merchandisable, dude. Like, you can sell plushes of those Chaos and shit. Like, you'd be stupid to be a major studio and not incorporate the Chao to some capacity. And it's one of those things where I'm very happy to see it kind of adapted, and I really do like the Chao suits and stuff. I think it's a fairly tasteful way of handling it, but it also ends up being the perfect metaphor for how fucking boring the Sonic movie universe really is. And I say that as someone who loves these movies, but what I don't love is how magic and cool shit can never just exist in this world. It always has to be rationalized to an exhausting degree. And, that's kind of what I kind of get from this. The other thing is, if Chao are just a merchandisable thing that exists in Japan, what does this mean for the potential future of a character like, say, Cream in these movies? Like, because the Chao in the middle does have the bow tie on that Cheese would wear. Is it that maybe Chao are a thing that exists and Cheese just happens to be a fan of that one? I don't know. Like, why?
Right.
And it's really funny that we
and also
might be ruling out a third female character for these movies. let me see the skeleton of Blaze the cat in the background of somewhere, and then we're 3 for 3, dude. Like,
Like, I'm also thinking about like the prospect of chaos being in these movies. If the Chao are just like these like merchandisable things that were just always corporate in these movies, then I don't know if chaos would exist then, within this universe. Which, I mean, was going to be a stretch anyways. I love SA1, right? I love Sonic Adventure 1, and I want that story to be adapted, but that was always going to be a tough sell to try to adapt that story in these movies. So it probably isn't a big priority for
wait,
Paramount.
why would it be a tough
That's
sell?
just
I
me,
feel
but-
like Sonic Adventure is literally perfect for this format, but it's one of those things where I think they've made it very
No,
difficult.
I agree.
Wait a minute, wait.
I agree.
Hold on. Pop, just the other day we were playing Fortnite with Lil Boulder, and you were like, "There's no way they'll make a Sonic Adventure adaptation. That they can't backpedal." After
Well, yeah,
this.
no. Hear me out. Okay. So
You said the exact opposite.
no, so I think that Sonic Adventure would be perfect for this movie universe, and I don't think they're going to do it. And if they do want to
Why
do
did you
it,
say it wasn't?
Well, that's why it's a tough sell.
if they are
Yeah,
going
that's why it's a
to,
tough sell.
well, I don't think.
Because-
Yeah, I don't think.
yeah.
I think tough sell. I might be reading into that as like I don't know what you mean by tough sell, but
Well,
what
I
do you-
mean, tough sell is in like, I mean, we were talking about not even a couple of years back, arguing about whether or not Metal Sonic was more marketable than Shadow, even though I feel like both are equal in their own different ways. But then you throw Chaos into the mix, and I don't really. He's definitely not as marketable as either of those characters. You know what I mean? Like from a business perspective, it's a tough sell.
Yeah,
But,
I have completely.
Yeah.
So that debate of like the Shadow versus Metal Sonic thing is something that I've completely backpedaled on. I genuinely think, yeah, the fact that Shadow is in this movie is a no-brainer, and I do think Sonic stuff is way more marketable to normies than us Sonic fans give it credit for, because we became fans of this franchise somehow, And like when I think of Chaos, I think are people really gonna see a trailer for a Sonic movie and see a Godzilla made of water and think, it's a little alienating, I don't want to see that? No, they're gonna think that's fucking awesome. And I think, Sonic Adventure is a story where you can bring Gamma into the mix, a very toyetic character. You could sell toys out the wazoo of Gamma. The dude is practically made of Lego. You could, sell so much merchandise based on Sonic Adventure's story. You could have, the fun shenanigans of Sonic and Amy chasing each other through Twinkle Park, the crazy Robo. Like, I think this story is perfect for not only movies, but also the live-action Sonic universe. The thing is, I don't think Paramount are going to do it because they've already made it very difficult for themselves. If we've already done Chief Patrick Mac and turned him into just Christopher Lloyd archetype number 7, and B, if the Chao don't actually exist. And that is where I think there are elements of Sonic that Paramount have a tendency to underestimate. It's like, if they are just kind of like, yeah, make the Chao just a mascot costume, make Patrick Mac more Christopher Lloyd than Patrick Mac, it's like, it feels like it's already undervaluing this great story that is right for the big screen,
Chao
and
have
right.
to be based on something, even if they're mascot costumes. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily just because it's a mascot costume, they don't exist.
I mean,
Well,
the Chao
That
are
would
the...
be like saying I see the Shadow mural in like the Mystic Ruins or whatever, like the Supersonic mural, but Supersonic doesn't exist because he's just a mural.
I mean, to that I ask, are Chao based on anything in the real world then?
The real world? No.
Yeah, are Chao
That's why I think that's
because
this world is different than ours, clearly, because they have
Yeah,
a
but what I'm
space
saying is-
colony hidden in the Thames River.
Sure. What I'm kind of saying is, the assumption that the Chao must be based off of something in this universe is like, the truth is the Chao in the movie universe seem to serve more or less the same purpose that the Chao do in our real world, in that they're just a little mascot thing.
That some person came up with to sell money or sell merch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Now,
I would say,
I don't
go ahead,
rule out that it's possible that maybe real Chao do exist in this universe. I've always kind of thought if they were to introduce the Chao, you can't do much with them from a plot perspective. But it would be quite funny if, like, Sonic and Shadow have a fight and Sonic lands in, like, a zoo enclosure. And he's like, oh god, what horrible animal is going to come out? And you just see the Chao.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
Well, I mean, with the Chao, I think that only makes sense to worry about, like, oh, now that they've been introduced as like these these merchandise, they can't be like real things because what would they be based on? That would only work if this weren't the Sonic movies. The Sonic movies are not like some high master art that's like keeping track of this crap. If they want to put Chao in, what you do, if I'm in the writer's room, you say, hey, I want to put Chao in this. Toys, what do we do with that then? They actually existed as toys. What do we do with that then? You say, who fucking cares? Put them in the movie.
There doesn't have to be like a beginning. There doesn't have to be like a beginning and end for these, like, So
yeah, just put them in because you want to put them in. And if anyone questions it, you say, do you actually care? And
No, I don't.
So I would hope that they would come at it from. I would hope they would come at it from that perspective of like even if they've set up Chao or all these different things. If they want to put cream in, just put cream in. These are Sonic movies. These aren't some master art house pieces that you got to keep together, like the continuity and stuff.
Yeah, that is reassuring.
I also I hope they do Metal Sonic before Chaos, even though I love SA1 stories so much. I think Metal Sonic deserves his due, even still. I know people gave me backlash for saying that I thought Metal Sonic would have been a better fit for Sonic 3 before we got Sonic 2 proper, But, like, I still think Metal Sonic deserves at least something. Either like a boss fight at the end or something.
There's a lot of rumors and speculation going around that, like, obviously we see when Sonic teams up with Robotnik, Robotnik's condition seems to be, provide me with a bit of your power. And Sonic gives him the quill.
Right.
A lot of folks are speculating that this is where Metal Sonic is going to come from, and I have heard speculations that they won't do BioLizard, but you will have Metal Sonic in BioLizard's place.
The BioLizard's definitely not in the movie. There's no way.
I'd love it if he was, but I don't think he will be.
Honestly, I think that would be pretty cool, in my opinion. Yeah. Almost like making Metal Sonic the precursor. I guess, not in a direct sense, but like almost like the Man vs. Machine, where it's like Shadow's the organic version of this creature, and Metal Sonic is the metallic version.
It could be that, or it could be that Robotnik is just planning on using the resources on the Ark to create a Metal Sonic or something along those lines. I've got no idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe he wants to use the quill to power the Eclipse Cannon. I really hope the Eclipse Cannon will be a factor in this, and we will get a scene of the moon getting blown up, because that scene is so cinematic. Like, that would be a classic movie scene if it ever came to be. Like...
Well, I think the reason they'll do the big space laser is just because movies love big space lasers, so they can say like, "Whoa, this is like Independence Day," and then market it to their shareholders.
But imagine.
So I think we'll get the Eclipse Cannon.
I would imagine though, like if
the President of the United States will be in the movie.
Joe Biden.
United.
Hello? Look, it's Wario. The fucking scene of the moon getting blown up. If they put that in there, that will be one of the all-time great action movie moments. I'm telling you, man. It will be iconic, because it is already iconic.
I agree. I'm so sorry. I think you said earlier about like the quill powering the Eclipse Cannon. In my opinion, I think if they're gonna like bring back the Chaos Emeralds for this, which they should, in my opinion, then it should be like how it was in the games, where the Emeralds powered the cannon, and they have to like go find them or whatever, and all this other stuff, or all that.
I think they'll have to, because at the end of the second movie they split apart and flew around. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's kind of a given.
They're like they set that up.
I think the quill is going to be used for Metal Sonic, to be honest. I feel like that's going to be a thing we see in the after credits, and Eggman be like, "My greatest creation yet," and then you see Metal Eye light up.
I'll be honest. Okay.
Cliffhanger.
If I'm just saying, if the post credit scene or the end credit scene or whatever is pretty much a retelling of the OVA opening, I will be screaming at the top of my lungs. It would be so hyped. It would be so cool.
What's more likely, maybe, or what I'm at least hoping for, would be that we get Metal Sonic's introduction in the film proper. And that's just something Robotnik is working on. And then the post-credits is Amy. Because she's got to be in here somewhere. Whether it's post-credits or not, she's got to be in here somewhere.
If
why not?
Post-credits, it's going to be so fucking funny. People are gonna be like, who is that?
However,
Sonic!
there's something else I want for the post-credits. Because the thing is, obviously, like... the post-credits so far have kind of represented something for the franchise going forward. It's kind of not just told us who's going to be in it or what story we're going to adapt. They've told us what Paramount's intentions are for this franchise. You know, Sonic 1, we had only Sonic and Robotnik in that. They gave us Tails. That was a big step to say, hey, we are going to introduce more Sonic characters. Then with Shadow, it was like, hey, we're gonna get serious. We're going to get quite dark with this. I think I would like it if... something this movie needs to set up, I think, is something that can blow the floodgates off now. So, the post-credits before teased Shadow, how do you top that? You don't top it with Metal Sonic. And it's not like you could top it every single time. Not every Marvel movie is Infinity War, and vice versa.
Right,
but I think the ultimate post-credits thing would be if we started to see elements of Sonic's world creep into the real world. They need something to say... anything is possible now, because I think the conversation surrounding whether or not Amy's in this movie, the Chao, everything shows it's not going to be viable going forward if we keep having to stretch so far to just get Sonic stuff in these movies. However, I do have other theories as well, because the conversation about whether or not Amy is in this movie is a big conversation, and my gut instinct, based on this trailer, would tell me, no, Amy's not in this movie. If she is, she's in the post-credits. But there is one shot that's a little strange to me in this trailer. And I acknowledge that this is a reach, but it is my final gambit, okay? And that is, there's a shot where Team Sonic are stood in front of Agent Stone and a big crab meat. And every shot in this trailer is fucking gorgeously composed. The blocking of these shots, the framing of the subjects, the lighting, it's all gorgeous. Except for one where the balancing of the shot is just a little strange, in that Team Sonic are positioned quite far to the left, and Agent Stone is in the center, the crab meat is in the center, but Team Sonic are just slightly to the left. And it looks like there's an extra space there for another character. And it's like... We've seen this happen before with, like, Spider-Man No Way Home. And when it comes to Sonic characters, if there was another CGI character there, it would be so easy to just composite them out of the shot for the trailer's sake. But people have mentioned Amy is not Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. It doesn't need to be a big reveal thing. Sure, but Shadow's the one that is selling this movie. Amy, you can afford to keep her a secret. If they're keeping a character a secret, it's because they can afford to. They're not necessarily someone that's going to put mega butts on the seats. And it would be cool if they just said, for the sake of a surprise, she's in this movie, and she's in it quite substantially, and we edited her out of the trailers because we could afford to keep her as a surprise. It would be a very cool move. Do I think that's the case? A slim chance. A slim chance, but a chance.
Always... Yeah, I agree, because I was about to bring up the No Way Home example where every shot in the trailers was edited to a point where both Andrew and Tobey Maguire were like cut out and everything. And like, but I also see the other side of the coin where people were like, well, yeah, but that was like a big mystery speculative thing about like the multiverse thing with that movie. Like, Amy doesn't need to be that or have that big of a reveal, but I think it is a smart move. That way they can like honestly stretch out the hype for this movie as much as they can, because we already know Shadow's going to be in it. We know Shadow's going to be in it. He sounds great. Keanu Reeves is doing fantastic in that front. He looks menacing. Like, that's something that I was like kind of like surprised about. And also, like, we see the whole Maria Robotnik like backstory too. Like, we have enough of a reason for us fans to get hyped. Then it's like, okay, what do you reveal after that without basically spoiling the whole movie? Like, okay, you start trickling in like more characters. Like, oh, this character's in it now, and you know.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your cards on the table. You want there to be some surprises in store. And the thing is, Shadow is enough to.
Put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, Shadow alone is enough to sell a movie. Amy, the question is, why would they keep her secret? Simply because they can. They can afford for it to be a surprise. But another thing, Paramount would benefit greatly from having a secret character. And especially if it's one that's talked about. Because when the Sonic 3 trailer dropped, trending on Twitter, Amy Rose. Amy and Rouge and Amy Rose were both trending. People do talk about this. And the more people talk, the more it's being publicized. So, if they have Amy in the movie...
trending right now. Do you think he'll be in it?
What'd you say?
That Wade Whipple's trending right now. Do you think he'll be in the movie?
Good God. He's definitely in the movie. Like, Amy, there's a slim chance Wade is definitely in it. And boy, does that make me ill to think
Wade's
about.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, we know that Rachel and Randall are also in this film.
Wade sweep.
But, yeah, with Amy, it's one of those things where they can afford to withhold her and just let word of mouth do its job. So maybe she is.
It's a marketing thing. It absolutely is. It's a marketing kind of ploy.
And when it comes to the blocking of that shot and the way the subjects are framed, there are no accidents when it comes to that kind of thing. You can have little mistakes happen in films, sure, but when it comes to shot blocking, there are no accidents. There is a reason why they're positioned like that.
And I'm so sorry for interrupting. Obviously, there's a little bit of lag, but like, there's also like a shot in the Chao Garden where there is an empty seat at their table too, and maybe that's like looking into things a little bit too deeply. But it's like, okay, there's a couple of shots here that look a little off balance. Maybe there is something. Maybe there is like a little bit of like, missing piece to this. Yeah.
Also, folks are talking about the so-called trailer that went out at CinemaCon. That wasn't a trailer. Tyson Hess has made that quite clear. It was a sizzle reel. They had just some scenes out of context playing. They were scenes that were in this trailer as well, but it's not the same thing. That was a sizzle reel. They haven't just had this trailer ready to go that whole time. I mean, that's also me taking it at face value. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think that is the case.
So, what Trey just said about the Chao Garden, I didn't actually notice that part about the empty chair. So, like, before that, I was kind of buying more into the theory that, maybe when they go see Robotnik to ask for his help, it's actually way later in the movie and Shadow has already turned to the good side, and that's why he's not in that shot. Like, they
maybe,
have
the Eclipse cannon's already going, maybe.
They don't want to show him because they don't want people who don't know the story yet that, Shadow's going to turn around. But honestly, with that space also in the Chao Garden, I feel like it'd be very weird. Well, Shadow wouldn't be in that scene. So, like, if there's a character missing in multiple scenes that they haven't shown, then, like, either there's something they don't want us to know, or maybe something's just not finished. Maybe they're just not done with it yet. Maybe our animation or stuff's not done yet. Like, who knows?
Could literally be Shadow, and that might even be more likely. I think it's
not
a little
in the Chao Garden scene. I think it makes sense.
Trying to figure out the order of which this plays out in those, like, it looks like Sonic and pals go to London after being in Tokyo, that the Tokyo stuff happens quite early on. I would imagine the team up with Robotnik will happen around about halfway into the film. So I don't know who would be in that empty seat. You know what I think would actually be a baller move? Would be if you have the opening scene of the movie and Amy is just there as part of the group, already established. She came into the fold off screen, she's already established, and she does do cool shit. But that's the thing, is people are saying like, oh, I would rather Amy not be in the movie than they do her in the movie and they do a bad job. Who's to say they're gonna do a bad job? Who is actually to say that it would just be a bad thing? Why are we assuming it has to be bad? People talk about crammed runtimes and stuff. I just got out of the cinema and watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's a film that tackles the Batman's origin story, the Phantasm's origin story, has a mystery surrounding the Phantasm, goes into the Joker's origin story a little bit, all wrapped up in 75 minutes. And it feels like a 3-course meal of a movie. It's all about pacing. Now, do I think that's how it's gonna be? No. I think it is a worthwhile discussion. I know some people are like, why do you read too far into this? It's because we run a podcast, dude. We talk. That's our job. Trey, what's happening? Why does it sound like there's an elephant breathing into your mic?
What? No, I'm not.
Well, that would be the elephant, I think.
No, yeah, that would be the elephant. Yeah,
Can you
that's
get
the elephant.
can you
doing
get
that.
him out of here? Can
The
he
elephant in the
go?
room.
What? Get me out of there, or the
Get
elephant.
get
Actually, I
Stampy
bet
out of
he
here.
was gonna be in the movie. That's why he's not
Get
in the trailer. They want
Stampy.
to keep the surprise.
Why can't the elephant here? Also, I did switch my phone here because there was like a massive lag between like my Bluetooth, my radio that I'm using. Again, I'm driving. If you're joining in late, there's a massive lag between that and this, and I felt like every point I was trying to make was always like a second or two behind what everyone else already kind of moved on from. So that's why I moved on. That's why I moved to my phone speaker. So it was probably just me being stupid and breathing into my mic by mistake. And that is, I do apologize.
That's okay.
I'm sorry for the listeners.
The mic quality is at least better generally with your speaking. And to be fair, I didn't notice much of
Yeah.
a lag on your end. There has been some intermittent pausing on poor Ian's end, but he's generally okay. Well, like
Right.
they're hiding something. Whether or not it's Amy, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where Sonic 3 will be a good movie with or without Amy, or at least I think it will be a good movie with or without Amy. Like,
Yeah.
the character conflicts that they're
I
showcasing
think-
in this trailer look compelling. The action looks great. The movie looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that doesn't change just because there's no Amy. But two things can be true at once. This can be a good movie, and I can still think it's a mistake to not have Amy here. However, I don't think her mandatory shit is... So, one of the things I kind of said in the past was that it would be a shame to take that moment away from her when she redeems Shadow. I don't think it's going to be that simple this time. Because in Sonic Adventure 2, everyone is just kicking Shadow's ass left, right, and center, and no one ever really talks to him. But in this one, in the first confrontation that we see in this trailer, Sonic says, "I don't want to fight you," and asks, "Can we just talk about this?" So, like, it is quite obvious that things are going to work out a little differently this time in regards to Shadow's redemption, if he even has one. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, it's also a thing, and this was something that was always going to be, I guess, like prevalent. Like this movie is just going to be at most a loose interpretation of what we've already known as fans, but got to fit that in the movie verse. So it's like, how do you make sure that like there's not a huge shift in like tonal perspective from the second movie to this? And so far, I think they're doing a great job. I like, in all honesty, like people are complaining about like the cheesy jokes or whatever. I don't really mind it, because it's like, okay, that's already been kind of established since the first movie. Like the corniness is going to stay. Like we got to understand like what we're talking about. At the end of the day. But I think overall, like they're hitting story beats pretty well, and I am curious as to like how long the movie is going to be, and how well they're going to pace things out. That way they can fit everything here organically, right? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, no,
There we
I'm very excited for this trailer, man, though. Like, I think everything here looks good. Aside from, like, my gripes with the movie universe kind of being as restrictive as it is on Sonic mythology, I still think this movie looks great. They've treated Shadow with so much love and respect. And you even mentioned earlier, like, Keanu as Shadow as well. I think Keanu has done a great job already. Some folks have said, like, oh, he's not doing a voice, though. But it's like, that's not all voice acting is. He's still acting in this role. And people wanted him as Shadow because he naturally sounds like Shadow. What is he supposed to do? Like, what is he supposed to do to sound like Shadow when he already kind of does sound like Shadow?
He's got to sound like he's from the video games. And like, honestly, he sounds fine. Like, it just seemed natural when I heard it. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
I think overall, the thing was like, of course I hear Keanu's voice, but like I also look at it and it's like, yeah, that just sounds like what Shadow would sound like in this, context. So I
think the problem is that people are so used to the video games and they always want something close enough to that. So they're hoping for like like someone trying to do that same voice. It's like, you don't necessarily need that to have a voice that fits that character. And
I agree.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
like,
generally
and also,
why I was initially rooting for Hayden Christensen, was because, oh, he sounds like he would do a good David Humphrey. But to be honest, like, it's one of those things where looking back, I was thinking, like, yeah, do we need that? Looking back, I was kind of like, after a while, after the initial whiplash of it's not going to be Hayden, it's not going to be Robert Pattinson kind of wore off, I was like, yeah, no, I'm hearing the vision. I've heard some Johnny Silverhand stuff, and, you know, that could fit. And then it's like, yeah, I think he will be great. I don't love Idris Elba as Knuckles because he sounds like any of the Knuckles from the games. I like him because his performance is good. And I think the same is absolutely going to apply to Keanu Reeves, who, if anything, sounds more like an archetypical Shadow than Knuckles sounds like an archetypical Knuckles in these.
It just grew on me.
yeah,
It's,
like,
it's interesting.
Eventually, I was like, okay.
Oh, Frank.
I don't know. It was a thing too. It was a thing too with Idris Elba, where it's like as soon as I heard him in that initial Sonic 2 trailer, I was like, yeah, he's gonna kill it. Like there's no question about it. Like that, just that one line alone, like I was sold. And with Keanu, it's the same way. Like especially like later on, people hyperfixate on the "You're a colorful bunch" like line, which does just sound like Keanu Reeves reading it. But then you listen to the rest of the trailer. And it is like, yeah, no, that just sounds like Shadow. Like it just legit, it just sounds like
there are works.
So,
there are fan works where somebody tries to do an
I'm
impression,
good.
and it just never sounds right. It always sounds incredibly forced. So if you get something that might not sound exactly like Shadow, like with the whole "You're a colorful bunch" line, but it sounds like an actual person saying it, then I don't think that's a bad thing.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, that's
Yeah.
Keanu. And then I was like, that's a good line. And then I was like, he sounds really good. And he even gets a couple more lines in this trailer as well, where he sounds, again, great. So I've got no complaints about Keanu. And my God, what a stacked cast this movie has with Keanu, Jim Carrey, Idris Elba.
The star power in this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's off the charts. And it makes me even more grateful, though, for the fact that we have Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails. It is nice to have some rep of the original game cast in there.
I agree.
It does have me a bit concerned because of how much this movie is, basically how much the movie is going to cost. I hope they can make this and then some. I mean, I'm pretty sure they most likely will, but there's always that little, that small feeling I have is like, oh, if this flops, that is going to be a massive blow to the movie series. Then
there's also like the viability of these movies going forward as well. They'll just lay everyone off,
and they'll never make one again. It'll be easy. Don't worry.
Well, there's also
God.
There's also the viability of these movies going forward, in that, like, part of the reason, like, some people are saying there's not more Sonic characters in these is because to create those models, to light them realistically, have them in the real world on top of the actual, like, you know, acting performances and locations and stuff is very expensive. So they can't always afford to have tons of Sonic characters on screen at once. It's part of why Knuckles wasn't in the Knuckles series as much as we wanted him to be. And it's like, it's one of the reasons why I personally have been saying I would kind of like it if they would reboot the Sonic series after this one. Have this be like the capstone of this current Sonic movie iteration. And then next time, even if it has the same continuity, go for something a bit more basic animation-wise, something a bit more financially viable moving forward. The other thing is as well, like, I thought... So we mentioned there was a Taluna survey on a previous episode that mentioned that Gerald would be alive in Sonic 3, or at least hinted that Gerald would be alive in Sonic 3. And I kind of thought, okay, maybe they're doing this so that when Jim Carrey does retire from this role, whether or not he's retiring from acting, it's very unlikely he'll do a fourth, we have another Robotnik left over. We could maybe introduce Gerald Robotnik as the new Dr. Robotnik. Well, lo and behold, it's a fucking dual role thing, and it's still Jim Carrey. And I was like, well, that shoots that down. Like, I
really do wonder if he just actually likes working on these movies so much that he's like, yeah, I'll just do it until I die. like the fact that he keeps coming back and he's gonna play like two people this time. I'm like, does he just like it? Like, I don't understand.
It would be a power move if they could get Jim Carrey for
something. Like, I wish he would just like go to anywhere and be like, hey, I'm doing these movies because I really like them.
Because I mean, it feels like he does. Because like, isn't it been said like people were like, oh, he's not going to do a third Sonic because like he never really does sequels to things. Like isn't this kind of unprecedented for him that he just keeps
It is
doing
already,
this?
yeah. And like the thing is though,
is,
the less
yeah,
he says,
a third,
the less he says, the better from a marketing perspective. Because after Sonic 3, people will be saying, is Jim Carrey going to be in the fourth? Can they get Jim Carrey again? And that's more word of mouth marketing. So, like, the less he says, the better for Paramount. However, yeah, it does make me a little antsy about the future of this franchise. It's partly why I've said I think hitting the reboot button would be a smart idea, would be so that we can have a Sonic movie franchise where we're not constantly asking, is Robotnik going to be in the next movie? Because really, like, maybe you can have a couple of movies without him, but in the long run, there is no Sonic without Robotnik. Like,
yeah, I will say though, in the case of like the movies costing too much to like turn a profit or anything, I really wholeheartedly believe that Sonic 3 is going to be, if not the highest grossing Sonic movie, but close to it, mainly because of both Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves both being in this movie. You know, they're both like some of the most likable, you know, faces of Hollywood. Like they have rabid fan bases, both of them, and they're both super entertaining in their own right. Like I think them two alone, like that's gonna bring this movie into like the stratosphere, at least for like what video game movies are concerned. Right. So I'm not really worried about the financial side of things, but I am with y'all in terms of like Jim Carrey possibly returning or you know, and stuff like that. Like, is there going to be a fourth one? Is there a need for a fourth movie and all this other shit? You know, so I agree with y'all there. So
The amount that they could merchandise off of this movie is ridiculous.
oh, it's insane.
They could redo their partnership with Build-A-Bear, so you can get your Shadow Build-A-Bear. They could include
hell
the
yeah.
Chao in it. They could sell so much shit with it. Hell, you could
Absolutely.
do like those was it Jack specific? They do like the Sonic figures or whatever. You can include Shadow in his motorcycle. That's a moneymaker.
it is, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
And I would pick one up.
It's actually kind of insane that they haven't made
feel
a
like a lot
toy
of people would.
of the game version of the Dark Rider. Considering like how much they've been leaning into it for this Year of Shadow thing. Maybe they will.
I
Who
think
knows?
Maybe after the movie they might do that. Who knows?
I think it'd be smart. I think it would be super fucking smart to go hard on like the Year of Shadow merch. I mean, also, like, another reason why, like, you know, Sonic Adventure would be such a no-brainer is, imagine the Lego set you could make out of, like, a perfect Chaos fight.
Oh yeah.
Please,
Well, actually,
please don't
Yeah,
suggest
that
that. I
would be
want to
like
be able to afford
$600.
it. So give me a couple of. Oh God, Legos are so damn pricey.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah, they're
no.
ridiculous.
Only the Mario ones are like really pricey. The Sonic ones are a little more reasonable.
It's also kind of weird, yeah,
Only
that they
little.
haven't leaned more into having these anthro characters in these movies. Is, yeah, they could make so much merch out of that. Like, it would be good for Paramount to do. So it's a little weird that they haven't already. But,
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about it where it just feels like there's some tepid like fear with making these movies of like, oh, we don't want too many marketable kids characters. It's like,
underestimating the brand is
Yeah.
how I've always thought it.
Oh, sorry,
it's
Pup,
not
before
all
you go,
kids.
could I? Oh yeah, go ahead, Frank.
It is not all kids.
Yeah, true, and we'll buy that stuff too. I was gonna say that with Perfect Chaos, I've always thought it would be really cool to like, if just like not even for these live action movies, but just like if they ever be pretty easy to take. I know people love the Biolizard and it's iconic and it's how it is, but I've just always thought it would make so much sense to, if you wanted to combine the two, have it be that Perfect Chaos is the thing that Gerald was researching or whatever. That's what got him, you know, in trouble. Also with Shadow, making Shadow and looking at the mural, as we know, connected. And then Shadow's whole thing is that he's going to bring about chaos to the world, unleash him, and then basically like you could have the idea of Chaos being a water monster, being like, oh, this represents like the tears of Gerald, like in his little, like in his biography. You could be like, oh yeah, like, you know, Perfect Chaos is a being of water, watches my tears flood the world with the pain that you inflicted upon me. Like, you could do some really cool over the top like thematic stuff with Chaos, like the embodiment
Did you
of
write the movies from now on, Ian? That's fucking
Sonic
so cool.
Tears of the Professor.
It's like the
but yeah, no,
coolest shit I've ever heard.
Well, thank you. But that's the thing I've always thought for that. It's just like, man, screw the bio lizard. Get rid of that thing. Bring in Chaos and just thematically tie him into the pain of Gerald and Shadow. So they're not going to do it. I think cool.
Some of us like the bio lizard, but I do agree that Chaos is a much more interesting thing. But you could make plushes of the bio lizard. That'd be kind of cool. But
yeah, and you can make him a puppet so you can stick your hand up his butt. That'd be good.
Or
so
you can
the Space Colony Ark.
No, he can see. You can deliver a bit of karma and shove him up your ass. Like, show him how it feels.
Oh gosh.
Pause.
Trey's zooming.
All right, yeah, we're back
I
in
am
the realm.
He heard you talk about Bio-Lizard's butthole again, so he's gonna go right.
He's out of here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna drive to you, and I'm driving. Yeah, I'm driving off the road. I'm gonna go into a ditch. Just don't mind me. No, I had to get gas. For my trip. So.
Frank, did you ask me a question, or did I just miss something?
No.
The
Okay,
smell of the Ark after the bio lizard fucking.
I was basically
left.
saying like, do those freaking plastic model kits? Those are awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
I
I'm
was
not
just
really
thinking-
saying this for like certain Sonic fans. I'm just saying this for me.
Do you reckon there was
That's
like
what I want.
Do you reckon on the nose part of the Space Colony Ark there was like a window at all, and there were like people in there during the fucking final hazard fight, just looking out the window and just seeing a load of bio lizard innards?
No.
I don't know.
No window.
No.
No one in there.
I think everyone died before that could happen.
Yeah, I think they died
Right.
from movie night, so I think it's all
Yeah.
good. If anyone's watched Venture Bros.
Well, they did say movie night was gonna be killer.
that they did.
That they did.
Oh boy. I'm trying to think for anything else in the movie. Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen some people be worried that they might make it that, and I don't think I would like this too. Usually, I'm pretty okay if they change a lot of things, but this is so fundamental to Shadow's character in terms of like the drama they could get out of it.
Could you
that I don't.
repeat your point? Sorry, because your mic has
kind
been
of got lost
cutting out
through Discord.
intermittently.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, like some people are worried that Shadow is going to think he killed Maria, and that they're not going to have like a soldier do it. And I would be not okay with that. I do hope they have it that like a soldier did take her out. So yeah, I didn't know if anyone had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I don't want Shadow to kill Maria. I have heard speculation that Shadow is gonna kill Tom, and they're not gonna kill Tom. They're
No,
not gonna.
but he might try to, and that I do think that would be part of the story of like Sonic thinks that Shadow killed Tom. I think that'll be in the story. That makes sense to me.
But there's no way there'd be any alliances between Sonic and Shadow if Shadow killed Tom. Although the Echidna tribe did kill Longclaw, and he was able to make his peace with Knuckles, but that's a little more indirect.
Yes.
But also, like, if Shadow killed Tom, the Sega mandates would become a fucking nightmare. Because Sonic isn't allowed to fucking cry. And there was a scene in the first Sonic movie that referenced the possibility that Sonic cried on the baseball court, and that was cut. Probably for the reason that they mentioned tears. And, yeah. Sonic ain't allowed to cry. You really gonna show his dad get fucking iced and he not cry about it?
That's
Like,
relatable, like a character who's not allowed to express emotions, right?
yeah, everyone's favorite, you know? Like, if Tails died, like, there are, like, JP purists that would have you believe that if Tails died, Sonic would be like, oh man, but I'm always looking forward to the future. Hell yeah. He's like, no, he would fucking break down. Like, Trey, what the fuck is happening, dude?
I'm driving.
Can you turn your mic sensitivity down or something, do you reckon?
It's the same as it always was.
Well, turn it down a little bit, because we're picking up the sound of fucking driving.
Oh, well, what's wrong with that? Sometimes you want to hear the rubber on the road. You know,
Look, you're taking drive time radio a little literally, don't you think?
Layla, you be tonight.
Copyright, Trey! Copyright!
That's not copyright. That's
Dude, it's not gonna be copyright
PGA
claims for
Online.
this microphone. Dude.
We've been over this. They monetize. You can't monetize a cover fully.
No, okay. That wasn't a cover.
That was a cover. You were
Fine.
covering it. You were covering that
No,
song.
I wasn't covering anything.
I'll cover you in my fucking piss. If you're
Don't
not
do
careful.
that. Don't do that. I don't like.
Pause.
Don't fish that. Don't finish. You're good.
Nah. I'm gonna fucking finish. I love you, Trey.
No, don't. Okay, I love you.
It's turned into a very different conversation. very
How was
quickly.
it? How was your date last week? I meant to ask.
It was great. It was fantastic.
You turned me into
It was an adventure for sure.
I became a
but,
cuck last
yeah.
week, guys. I became a
You
cuck.
became a cook.
Proud of you, pup.
No, she's
You
incredible.
fucking would
We actually-
be.
Oh my gosh. No,
I'm
it's
being
incredible.
supportive of you.
What is she, the Hulk?
we actually went on our second date, yesterday. So
This
like,
is getting out of hand, man. This is getting fucking ridiculous.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? No,
You're
it's
supposed to
fine.
be my husband, and you're going on all these dates with this incredible woman.
Yes. She is great. She is quite incredible in my opinion. I know it's only date two, but
Well, tell her I
See
hate
what
her.
happens.
It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be excited. I'm glad.
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'll be sure that you hate her specifically. You'd be like, what? Why?
Oh, great. Look at the
Because
chat.
we're
What the
married. Yes.
fuck? Oh, great. Channel cuck. Okay, fine. I guess I bought that on myself.
Love it.
That's like I'm a power bottom.
Panel cuck is really funny.
Did we want to... how do we feel about the conversation? Do we feel like we got everything we want to get out about the Sonic trailer and move on to Super Chats? Or...
I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm good.
We went through.
I feel like I've said basically everything I can think of.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. Just because the music's in the trailer doesn't mean it's in the movie. But hopefully...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so many as like, oh, Crush 40's got to be in it. It's not happening.
Oh, no, hang
we've
on.
been
The
through
Crush-
this twice already.
The
The
song
Crush
could
40
be in it, but I doubt it'll be by Crush 40.
Yeah.
So there it's worth noting that the Crush 40 thing, Johnny Gioeli does own the rights to the song. He has signed off on the usage of the song, whether or not that means a cover, but he also sent them vocal stems from both the original version and a re-recorded thing. So there is a possibility that there will be Johnny's vocals in there. I do want to, because usually I would logistically shut that down, but we do at least have evidence to suggest that Live and Learn in some capacity will be in the movie and that Johnny has re-recorded vocals for it.
There's also the possibility that it just doesn't get used.
There is also that possibility too, in which case I would say give the rights back to Marvel.
Honestly, I just really hope that Junkie XL, who is the composer, I just hope that he's able, I don't know, do the music justice at least this time around. He's a very talented and great composer. He really is. But
he really is.
Yeah, I actually, I think I said this on another episode, but I'll just reiterate it here. I saw his studio tour that he did, and he loves the process of music. He loves music. He started out as a DJ. He knows his shit. He knows his stuff. And I also have to keep in mind that sometimes a lot of these projects, a lot of composers are mainly for paycheck, purposes. They're not really invested into it. I just can only hope that Junkie XL can be at least a little bit more invested to give the music a little bit more life. Because I feel like if any of the Sonic movies need that the most, it's this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't also have Shadow in a movie and have no rock guitar or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At
least
okay.
At least some industrial drum and bass. Bring back those DJ chops,
Yeah,
you can have
absolutely.
some drum and bass. That would be great.
Also, yeah, his soundtrack for Zack Snyder's Justice League did prove that he can do guitar and stuff. Heavy kind of sounds.
You know what? That's
He always finds some way to put it in there.
some way to slide in.
That's what she said. Shall we do super chats?
This might be a little.
So funny.
Oh, no, go on, Frank.
Controversial.
Go on, Frank.
Might be a little controversial, but I hope there's bowling in this movie.
Yeah.
I really wish I hadn't
Wait,
said
can
go
you use
on,
a bowling
Frank.
ball
Now.
to beat the bio lizard?
But
Hey,
the
you don't
bio
wanna
lizard.
talk-
I
is
reckon
just,
the
bio
first
lizard-
introduction to
Wait.
Knuckles will probably have Wade in it, and we'll
Hold
probably
on.
reference bowling, and that'll be it.
It'll have the trophy.
Hold on. Can I the bio lizard is referenced in the movie as one of those terrible bowling animations when you get a spare. That's just the only that's the
Bowling
only
lizard.
yeah you got a spare and it's the bio lizard shitty bowling alley animation. I think that would be funny.
I agree.
Good. I'm glad Dylan agrees. I didn't get anything else from anyone else in the audience, but I'm glad that Dylan agrees that it would be funny.
I agree.
Thank you. I've been told
so
I'm very agreeable.
So
Yes,
does Knuckles still
I
have the
agree with
Flames of
that.
Disaster as like his power?
The Flames of Disaster.
He does. You see him flying through London with the flame fists are glowing.
Oh, that's neat. Cool.
That would be cool. I think that was the only like good part about the Knuckles show was that little, I guess, like rewrite of that.
I felt I facepalmed so hard when I heard that. I was like, and I was calling it the maximum heat Knuckles attack. Oh, how stupid am I for following the lore?
Maximum heat.
I do find it. I think Nick put it very well when he was talking about how, like, they referred to Angel Island as Emerald Hill in the Knuckles behind the scenes thing. And I kind of think that way about, like, the ring sound effects in the credit sequence as well. Nick put it best. It's not that fucking hard, guys. Like,
no, it's not.
It's really have you seen the Google Play Twitter account? Apparently, it's impossible.
That is still one of the most embarrassing things I have ever seen anyone post, and I don't care if it was made by AI. Literally, the fact
it wasn't made by AI, dude. It was made by the writers of the Knuckles series.
Their AI. That's the worst part about it. It was their AI.
God.
The Google AI, it's just so fucking embarrassing, but like, they don't care because any publicity is good publicity.
It's so
for like a
fucking
company
funny,
that doesn't give a shit.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. So super chats, we'll do them in table order as presented on the screen. So it will go Dylan, myself, Ian, Franken, and Train. You happy with
Okay.
that?
All right.
Yeah,
Let me look at this chat while I'm driving. Give me a second.
How are we feeling, my beautiful boy?
I'm ready.
Trey, you don't have to read anything, Trey. We'll take care of it.
God, I love you guys so much. All right. Okay, Dylan, you ready? My brother?
Yep.
Burger.
KB with the $1.99. The Flames of Disaster.
That was
Michael
good.
Bolton.
Fire.
Michael Bolton, everybody. And there's Trey's
I know
fucking
I know
car
people
of
love
disaster.
that fucking aged me like a good couple years. Like
I won't lie. Hats off to Adam Pally. That was a decent delivery. Like,
I didn't like any of that.
I didn't like it, but it was
the guy scene.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he does look like a genuinely like funny guy to hang out with. It makes me not like Wade Whipple even more because it's like he could legit be funny, and y'all are just not letting him be.
I reckon Adam Pally as Adam Pally is probably funnier than Wade.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's.
Yeah,
I guess
probably
that's
why
my
they put him in
point.
the in the movie because he's funny.
Yeah, like that was also part of why I think the Knuckles series got a spin-off was because, well, sorry, they did the spin-off. Is imagine a Knuckles series spin-off. Is because they enjoyed Adam Pally on set. They found him very fun to work with, and it's like fair enough. I can see why and how that happens. So fair enough. Show still
That's
sucks.
not a good enough.
But...
That's not a good enough pitch for like a side for like a series or something like
No,
that.
it reminds me a lot of that one interview with, I think it was Barbara Muschietti, where she was like, one of the big reasons we wanted to make a Flash movie was so we could bring back Michael Keaton as Batman. It's like, hang on, wait, just repeat that?
There's a
Make
difference.
a fucking Batman movie.
I'm willing to make exceptions.
Losers.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I know I'm hounding you on this, but Trey, can we please get something done about the fucking sound of the car?
What else am I
Podcast is
supposed
over,
to do?
pup. We're done.
Am I just supposed to fly?
We can't end it. We've got super chats to do.
Trey.
People paid for
That's what I
these.
mean. We're
Dylan.
at the end. We could just do the super chats. And
I
be
would
done,
rather
Trey.
the audience be able to listen to the super
Okay,
chats.
well here's the thing. You know what I need? Okay, I'm gonna fly out this car. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead.
No,
and
but just
jump
turn
out.
the mic sensitivity down or something.
It's nearly at 100%.
Driving.
Tell you what, do you want me to just put you in the fucking calling queue and pull you back in when it's your turn to speak or something?
No.
Trey.
Yes.
Can you do me? Can you just tell traffic to shut up?
Tell Traffic to
Hey.
shut up or something.
I
Repost
wish
your
Traffic
post.
was a good friend.
Just anything.
Hold
Just
on.
anything. Because it wasn't a problem earlier. So just anything.
Look,
It was
is it a
traffic was a
problem?
good friend.
Okay, is it a problem now? I killed everyone on the road. All right,
Right
is it a
now,
problem
it's
now?
great. Thank you for killing everybody.
Okay,
Thin
no
out the
problem.
numbers.
Okay.
No more gigs, Trey. You have to just do this show now, okay?
Okay, sorry. All right,
Okay.
like
I know I love you a lot.
I love you.
You-
I love you.
If you loved me, you wouldn't be going on dates with someone else. But that's beside
What
the
did,
point.
can you just not be happy for me?
I can't,
not
no,
be happy-
because you're my husband and you're going on dates, and I didn't
if you
agree to
love
this.
someone, you let them go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great and all, but I think context
I was
kind
gonna
of
say, I
matters
thought
as
you-
well. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I thought you guys had like an. I thought it was open.
It wasn't
I
open.
thought
No, Frank, you're not telling me you got in there too, did you? Like, fucking.
No, are you kidding me?
Me and
Sunset
Frank,
City polyamory.
me and Frank are making out passion.
What the fuck,
Like, that's-
Frank?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyway, next
I
super
mean-
chat.
Next super chat.
Dragonfruit sends in $10. Happy Friday. The epic Mickey Rebrush demo is out and it's fantastic. Oh yeah, there's a Sonic 3 trailer too, I guess. I don't know. I swear to fucking Christ. I am gonna blow up the city, I swear.
Hold on. Where's my
This is actually funny.
where's my push to talk? Where are you?
I can't have you doing
This is
push to
getting
talk
funnier.
while on the road either. Like, it's a
No, it's
liability.
okay.
What are you asking him to do that? I don't understand.
I'm not asking him to do that. I'm asking for a solution. I don't know what the solution is. I'm
He
just
doesn't
asking for a
have
solution.
any other
All right, it's push to talk now. It's push to talk.
All right, pull
Now, here
pull
we
off
go.
into a McDonald's and stop everything you're doing. And
No, I'm on the road. I can do this. I can do push to talk. It's fine. All right. Like again, I'm already eating
Okay,
cereal. I'm already
can
watching
I-
billboards. It's fine.
If you crash,
the
it's
road to
not my
Viridian
fault.
City.
Or do I have to live with this? This is gonna follow
Just-
me.
Read the super chat.
I read the last one. What do you think of the Epic Mickey Rebrush demo thing? Have you played it? Have you got it? What's happening here?
Yeah, I just tried it, and it definitely plays better than the original version by like a lot. And I think they added a dash move that I don't remember being in the original. So like that's pretty cool, but I still think he moves way too slow.
One more question. Sorry, Trey. Do you drive an automatic?
I do drive.
There
an
you go.
automatic.
Then
Yes.
fuck it. Push to talk. Who fucking an automatic?
Yes,
you
that's
just-
what I'm doing right now. You
Yeah, you
dickhead. I love you.
I'm sorry. I didn't want you to do push to talk because I thought you might have been driving a manual. You know, like a man. But
Look,
like if you're just
look.
driving an automatic, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, just take your hands off the wheel altogether. You know.
Look, I am driving
I
with
don't
my
know if you know
knees.
how driving works, pup. You need
I know
to keep your hands
dri-
on
I-
the wheel.
I drive.
I
I
did too.
drive manual, so it's quite different. With manual, you have to like drive the car. You know, like.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like,
Okay,
I'm going
okay.
to
You
Cumberland
gotta-
Farms.
So-
It doesn't fucking matter.
So in across the pond, they call it standard. That's what they call it, standard transmit, not manual. They call it standard, right? So it's either automatic or standard transmission.
In the UK, it's automatic or manual, but manual is like the norm.
Manual. I mean, honestly,
That's
manual,
why you guys are stuck in the past.
Look,
playing the
we're
shitty
just
games.
we're men, you know.
I don't know about that, but you know.
You can't spell manual without man.
You can't spell manual without Al. Anyways,
You can't.
That is true.
Ian, you want to get this next one? Burger.
sure. 10 euros from Daza S.
That's not euros.
Hey,
That's
Al.
pounds. That is pounds.
Oh,
Who's
I'm
Al?
stupid, my bad.
And that's pounds.
I know they mean to say all, but I'm going to read it as
Who's
it said. Hey Al, Bog Week this week. I am talking about Oasis Reunion. Oh, and of course the Sonic 3 trailer. Safe to say I'm eating well this week with 90s nostalgia. Thank you.
It's true. Oasis did reform after many
Also,
times of hating each other.
Lincoln Park announced something that's going to be happening on September 5th, so that's also pretty cool.
Looking forward to that. You know what?
Hell yeah.
One non-game needle drop I will accept in Sonic 3 would be a Linkin Park one.
That'd be an interesting one.
Just like
depends on
at
what
the
you-
end.
Yeah,
at the end of it,
literally.
is what I'm done.
Absolutely. I would accept that completely.
There's a couple of songs you could actually pick and use for it, depending on what the ending of Sonic 3 is. But Who knows?
Okay. Frankenburger. Burger.
Hold on, just making sure I'm on the right place. Make sure I'm on the right one. Okay.
Burger.
Thematic with $5. Song of the day: "Jungle Love" by Hoffman. Thank you, Knuckles, for my life, and happy Labor Day weekend.
Someone put together a playlist of Thematic song suggestions. I reckon it would probably go kind of hard.
Honestly, Thematic song suggestions have been really good, so I that would be a great playlist to put together.
We're happy to have you here, Thematic. Trey. Burger.
I can't read and push
Oh,
and
fuck's sake.
drive.
All right, no, you're right. Okay, Trey, what do you want me? What do you want me? Do you want me to tell you what the super chat
You
is
just go
and
back-
then you regurgitate it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So repeat after me. Joe Madre.
Okay.
$5.
Joe, what's the last name?
Joe Madre.
Joe Madre.
$5. Thank you.
$5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aren't you at all curious about the deep Lion King lore?
No.
Aren't you all at all curious about the deep Lion King lore? That's a great question that I read off just now.
We're gonna do this for all of them, man.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we're not, man. I don't fucking care about no Lion King lore, man. All right,
Anyways.
Dylan,
Yeah.
Puna.
Are
didn't
you
put a-
excited for
okay.
the Lion King lore?
KB $4.99 on TV tropes. The trope that's associated with hilly levels in games is called Green Hill Zone.
Aha! There it
I
is.
can't
It is a
confirm
trope.
this, but I believe KB. I don't think he would lie to us.
KB would never lie. Good afternoon,
KB's
KB.
a real one.
KB is a real one.
Yeah.
Me.
KB's good.
They're hiding Rouge. Wait, no, sorry. Twilord with the €2. Thank you, Twilord. They're hiding Rouge from Amy fans. Good golly. Amy fans couldn't handle the cake.
Indeed.
Okay. Ian. Orger.
Alexbark for $2. I'll always wish John Lithgow was Gerald Robotnik. I don't know who that is.
That's it. He was Lord Farquaad in Shrek. He played
Oh, okay.
the Trinity Killer in Dexter. He was in Third Rock from the Sun, that comedy film. That's a really good choice. Actually.
I agree with that,
That's like
actually,
a
yeah.
really, really good choice.
And now, Frankenburger.
Captain Cold Cuts with $5. Calling it now. The post credits will show Blaze and or Silver. Movie 4 will introduce Eggman.
God, I hope.
Is that the one from the Rush games? Is
Yes.
that version of
Yeah,
Eggman from the Rush
Eggman
games?
Nega. Yeah.
Okay.
well, he
With the new
said
actor,
There you go.
I mean, it's okay if he says it. He's a Sonic lore master. What?
I didn't know what you were gonna say at the end of that sentence. It's okay if he says it.
Retiring Carrie's version of the character. Would they just?
I
don't know about that one. That seems like a little harder to pull off.
That would be like difficult to put. Like it's Robotnik from another dimension, but then again,
And then that.
I mean, they gotta do
other dimension's
something.
Robotnik. Yeah, it's like you have it from the other dimension, and then that one becomes the current dimension's Robotnik.
but I can see the logic because they gotta do something. Like, and they've said they're not willing to recast Jim Carrey as Robotnik.
Or
You're
Hey,
essentially
you gotta bring in
recasting.
Savage.
You're essentially recasting, but you're taking the longest possible or the most difficult way of doing it.
Trey, whatever you tried to say there was a load of garbled nonsense. Do you want to try that again?
Yeah, Discord.
yeah,
set that
what I was
shit
going
up.
to say was they're probably going to focus more, if they're continuing the movie series, on like the bigger monsters like Chaos and Dark Gaia and stuff like that. Like they're probably going to like replace Robotnik with those big bads and just have other characters like bring them to life aside
For
Or if anything,
longevity's sake, though, they are gonna need a Robotnik.
If anything, they might minimize Jim Carrey's involvement.
and see if they could keep
And-
getting him back in little capacities.
Yeah, so that way he's not doing as much as he.
It will literally, like Jeff Fowler will call Jim Carrey up while he's at home and be like, "Hey, we're doing a shoot today. You want to come with?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do." I don't know. I don't know a very good Jim Carrey, but he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that and talk about Scientology and stuff." Whatever actors do.
That is a thing some actors talk about.
It's like every actor. Every actor, dude. Like, so who's up next? Is it oh, Trey, you're up next, right? Okay, Borker. Trey, you ready for me to you ready? Follow my lead?
I was born ready.
Okay, so Inanimate Marso, thank you for the $9.99 US.
Inanimate Maso, thank you for the $9.95 US.
Okay, it's quite a long one, so we're going to do it in fragments, okay? At this point, I'm not wondering about Amy or Rouge being in the movie.
At this point, I'm not wondering about Amy or Rouge being in the movie.
I'm wondering if Black Doom is in this. Trey?
Pop, your mic is fucking
Hold on,
dude.
I missed that. Can you repeat that?
Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, you did kind of cut out.
Yeah, sorry, my internet went a bit.
You gotta do something about that, dude.
I'm trying my best, man. Okay, so
Put it on push to talk, dude.
I'm
I'm
wondering if Black Doom is in this.
I'm wondering if Black Doom is in this.
Because if Gerald is alive, why did he wait 50 years to unleash Shadow?
Because why did he wait 50 years to unleash Shadow?
Okay, good enough. Thank you, Inanimate Master. And that's a theory.
Thank you. I mean, that is a game theory for sure. Movie theory, rather. It's I don't know. I mean, it just shows that like we don't have all the pieces to the puzzle yet, and I think like that's the mark of a great trailer. Like they showed off just enough to get people hyped, but still left a lot of things, under wraps. That way we could speculate about it. So I think that's cool.
Hell yeah.
I just thought about this. Imagine how shitty Sonic's gonna feel when he's in his 50s. Think about this. Shadow is a 50-year-old being, right?
And he looks spry as a spring.
That is,
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's able to move around and like keep up with Sonic and everything, but Sonic will probably not be that in his 50s.
Right.
I mean, you never know. You never know, because I do see some very active 50-year-olds that do like still work out.
Yeah, but Sonic has probably
Sonic plays
exhausted
off
his body already. Like in his younger years, it's all gonna catch up to him eventually. All the damage he's taken,
Yeah.
all the
like the
rings he's dropped.
metabolism.
Yeah, all of it will catch up to him eventually. Yeah, think about that one when you're taking a shower.
Okay, yes, sir.
Dylan. Dylan.
Yep.
Orker.
Yep. KB, $9.99. I got all the KBs this time.
That you did?
It's funny how Amy's fortune card deck was released on the same day as the new trailer and the Kingdom Valley / Metal Overlord gameplay, and everyone forgot about the cards.
I mean,
LOL.
It's unfortunate because the cards are beautifully illustrated, but yeah, when you've got Sonic X Shadow Generations gameplay and the Sonic 3 trailer, unfortunately it's going to get a little drowned in it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a sign. Ooh, who knows? Maybe I put my fortune cards down and they'll tell me Amy's in movie 3. But we will talk about the Kingdom Valley and Metal Overlord gameplay probably next week if we don't get anything bigger. But until then, it's more Sonic X Shadow Generations, and it's very exciting. Anyone else got anything to add to that?
No.
No, I think the timing of it is weird. It does suck that it is being ignored, but at the same time, tarot cards are of the devil. No, I'm kidding.
So
No.
are video games and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So are video games, Dungeons and Dragons, all that stuff. So it's like no, but I'll have to check those out because even I didn't know that they existed, like the Amy's tarot cards. I'll be honest. So I'm part of the problem.
They're really beautifully illustrated. They got like a lot of the IDW folks on that, so it's super cool. I'm not in the market to purchase, but I do think they're very cool. So, Ian, you ready?
Yes.
Burger.
TRG Gabriel GF. With 2, I have no idea what this is.
Oh my god, how do you not know what a Swiss franc is, you idiot?
He only knows
Well-
an American one.
It fucking sounds like a food, like a hot dog or something.
All right. Well, 2 sliced up franks. Thank you very much. Thoughts on Tom's ancestor possibly killing Maria?
I want to know why you sliced the fuck out of Frank. What did he do to you?
That's how that's how you do the currency, I guess.
That would
I
be
didn't know it
such
was
a
that
hard
valuable.
story beat to pull off, man. Like, I don't think so. But like,
No, I mean, I don't think they're gonna do anything like that.
I can't imagine that. Tom is supposed to be like the
I like
best
he's
cop
like Tom's
ever.
ancestor as well, as if like 50 years constitutes it being an ancestor as opposed
I mean,
to
that
just like.
that is technically an
grandpa.
ancestor when you think of it. Like,
I
your
know,
own...
but like I don't call my grandfather my ancestor. I call him my grandpa.
Yeah, but
It's
could
just
have-
funny to
but it
say.
could have been like his
I feel like I
his,
reserve that word for someone I've never met and never will, because they've been dead
like his
for 90
grandma
years.
or something. Who's to say it's a man? You fucking sexist.
What are you fucking talking? I said grandpa myself. I'm talking about
I'm-
my
I'm-
grandpa. He's
But
not my
that's
grandma.
why he's not putting grandpa or grandfather or whatever, because that's like not gender neutral. We can't rule out that maybe the person that killed
Do you
Maria was
think
a woman.
Tom's grandmother killed Maria on the Ark?
Yeah, I actually do. In fact, I know she did.
Bro, girl power. That's what I'm saying. Like,
She
girl
definitely.
bossing it
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Yeah, gas keep, girl light, gas boss, and kill Maria Robotnik.
Amen, sister.
Hell yeah. We really don't have like any women on this show, do we? It's fucking. But that's okay. One of us can
That's
become
because you
one.
get pissed off. It's because you get mad at Trey when he goes on dates.
I do, because he's supposed to be
I'm
my
trying.
fucking
Like,
husband.
the thing is, I'm trying to bring the women in. You know, I have the sex appeal, but you're just not letting me do it. You know, you're just not letting me have it.
He is a musical superstar.
it.
That is true.
I mean,
Superstar
No lies
is insane.
You're
no
a
lies
superstar to me,
detected.
Trey.
Oh, thank you, Dylan.
I could never get up on stage and sing or play an instrument. I'd be fucking dead.
Sing right now. Sing immediately.
I don't have the
Up as a cock.
willpower.
What if I give you the willpower, because you know what my real name is?
Alright, that was pretty good, not gonna lie.
Okay, here you go. That's how it transfers. Congrats.
Thank you. I have the willpower now.
Sing.
Ah.
That was amazing. Okay.
I got you, Dylan.
Thanks. See?
So-
Yeah, there
something
we go.
about the warrior.
All right. So, Franken, sorry about Ian slicing you, but you've got the next one, Borger. Frank.
Oh, dragon fruit with $5 US. This may be the most dangerous Sunset City episode. Besides the foreskin stream, please try save Trey.
The fabled
I'm
foreskin.
I mean,
the foreskin. Hey, hashtag cut gang. All right, that's all. That's all I have to say.
You don't
about
want to. You don't want to slip out of your car and accidentally run over your foreskin now, do you?
that. Yeah,
I was gonna
exactly.
say, I mean, this episode was basically Trey driving and buttholes.
There's that little bit in Sonic Adventure 2 where
There you
Sonic kisses
go.
Shadow on the butthole. I hope that is in the film because that's an iconic moment.
And then the bio lizard just has the space colony arc emerge out of his butthole.
You ever just kind of think though, like the bio lizard, you could make a nice little toy out of that, and with his gaping open mouth, you could just, you know. I don't need to say
What
it,
if-
you know.
Hey, so
No,
what if
Papa,
they
I'm not
just
sure what you're talking about.
What if they just helped him get the space colony arc out of him?
Yeah,
probably
instead
be
of
a lot
killing
nicer.
him, they could just get it out of him, right? Like, Sonic is
Yeah,
like,
he'd be a lot
Shadow, grab a
nicer.
crowbar, bro! And he's like, on it, Sonic, don't worry.
Biologist's screaming so much because he's in pain and he's trying to request help.
Yeah, and the only reason he's hurtling
he
towards
just
Earth
needs-
is because he's kind of heavy, you know? Like, he can't help it.
He just needs some fiber.
He's so heavy in space where there's no gravity, he is still falling.
Imagine if that's how movie 3 interprets it, is they gotta help him poop it out.
Get a laxative, quick!
Alright, so it's Trey's turn. Right, okay. Trey, are you ready for this? Burger.
I'm ready.
Okay, so Kenke, or Warheads in parentheses,
All right, King K Warheads in parentheses
sends $2
since two U.S. dollars. Thank you.
and says, "Hey,
Hey
guys."
guys,
And
Can
that's
we
the
speed
super
this
chat.
up? It's 6 o'clock. I need to go.
Well, that's it.
Please.
That's the message.
Hey, Kenke.
wait, is that it?
Hello.
Just hey
That's
guys.
the
thank
that's
you.
the
that's it.
that is
Chat.
the message. Yeah.
Hope you're having a good one.
Hell yeah, Kenke.
Good to hear
Dylan?
from you. Good seeing you.
Dylan, you're up. Porker.
All right, Seaman with $2.99 Australian dollar due has said hello there.
Hello there, General Kenobi.
Oh,
And
I
then-
don't like. Are Australian dollars called dollary dues?
Yeah, they are
Yes.
canonically.
They are now.
I'm gonna say super chat cutoff now, by the way, so that Dylan can go eat, because if he doesn't, his pussy will hurt. So final super chat. I will be reading. Joe Madre sends $5. Thank you, Joe. Not enough people are aware that Shadow 05 isn't one of the list of games that the movies can reference, so there probably won't be any black arms. I would say that, but then he does have a motorcycle, so I reckon they probably can reference that. But to what capacity, we don't know. But that wraps
The
up the super
motorcycle is
chats.
the motorcycle is probably like a Sonic X Shadow Generations thing, where it's like, oh, don't say anything, but there's a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's also just nondescript enough. It's just a motorcycle.
I
So
wonder why they can't
Yeah.
reference that, though, if that is the case. Because it's like, Sega are clearly quite happy to reference it themselves these days.
They're happy to use like the Flames of Disaster name from Sonic 06, so I don't know like
And Iblis.
why they're well, Iblis on a computer going through eBay.
I'm thinking
Or
that
Facebook Marketplace.
maybe that just ain't the case. Maybe that just ain't
Or
how it is.
maybe it's because like, you know, Shadow having a gun and everything. There's like, let's not reference the game where he has like an actual like human weapon, like a gun.
We didn't skip
knows?
Seaman. We literally said Seaman's one, the hello there, and then we said hello there, General Kenobi.
Yeah.
I swear, some people are deliberately trying to trip us up, man. Okay. So, well, that's the end, which means I have to put the skeleton on screen. Skeleton. All right. So, Dylan,
Hi.
what are you up to, pal?
Yeah, I'm uploading a video every day in a vain attempt to continue being relevant.
And
What's,
might I say, it has been a pretty solid idea so far. I mean,
Thank
good
you.
videos all around.
I'm trying
so.
my best. Trying my
gen-
best
I'm-
to not give in to the darkness.
I'm enjoying having a little extra Dylan in my day. What can they be greeted to if they visit your channel now?
I've uploaded a video about there's someone my friend Halebot put Pumpkin Hill from Adventure 2 in Mario 64 DS, and you play as Knuckles and you fly around the level and collect stars, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That actually
Yeah.
sounds pretty sick. I kind of
Ian.
want to play that now.
Kind of drove me insane a little bit, but it was good. It was fun.
yeah,
Ian,
no,
what-
definitely keep checking Dylan out. Yeah, I'm Ian Waffles. You can find me on YouTube. I'm actually going to be making videos again after like a year hiatus, so expect at least like
Love
5
that.
videos by the end of the year. So that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait for that. I'm
Can we get a
Absolutely.
sneak peek at what they're about? Maybe?
And that's it.
Alrighty then. Franken. What you
So
doing, pal?
I have a couple things in the works right now. One of them is the review on Mega Man Rock and Roll. I know I've mentioned this a few times, but unfortunately, I had a 2-week period where I couldn't really edit anything or do any voiceover or anything. But now I can, so I can finish working. I can finish work on that video. I upload on a second channel called Super Frank Plays, which is it's it's kind of like whatever I feel like doing on there. I have my Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer reaction. I have a video on the demo of Visions of Mana, which released yesterday. And I'm also going to continue my Let's Play of Mega Man Again, which is the Mega Man 1 remake / powered up demake. So I had to
Yeah,
add
that
a
one's
couple
pretty
more
cool.
things to it before I could put up the part 2. So I'll be finishing that, and it should be up tomorrow.
The Super Frank channel is very fun.
It sounds like the
I
name
wanna
of a
find more
big
to do on
hot
there.
dog. A big weenie. And then there
Big Weenie
is...
Hut Jr.
And then there is Trey.
Hello. As of right now, I'm currently going through a rebranding arc for myself across pretty much all platforms. So I've been debating on whether or not just like still keeping my name, but just changing the aesthetic of my channels and whatnot, or just going for a new name for my music brand entirely. But I've been working on a lot of original music, working on a lot of stuff separate from video game stuff, and it's been very rewarding. And I hope that once I do upload it, people enjoy it, and if not, then just feel free to tell me that you hate it. That's all. That's all I ask. But that's it. That's all I got going on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Up, what are you doing?
There we go. I think I might be joining you on that daily uploads thing in lieu of struggling to get a job.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck with the daily uploads, because
I
that's going to
hate
be
the
exhausting.
It is.
Especially
But-
with your videos, because I know there's like... I know you write a lot for your videos, like, because it's all like editorial-based stuff, but man, just don't overdo it.
I'm gonna have to dial some things back a little bit in terms of if I'm making daily uploads. It'd probably be the kind of thing is like the videos as you know them now would probably be less... well, they'd probably be like one a week or something. You get a nice, really good video, and the rest is just like fucking Valesky bum-ass fucking videos. I don't fucking know. It wouldn't... It would be a bit more long and in-depth than that, but like, you know how it is. But if you do go to my channel right now, I'm very happy to say that my Sonic Movie 3 video has been doing really well. That's there to greet you guys if you do want my more concise thoughts on that than what I can present in a live capacity. So yeah, that's ready for you, and that's that. That's all. That's all.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So who wants the last word?
Damn.